高校生がうんと止めるわけ。決めろ鏡。
根拠はない。だが彼らはふと直感した。その全員が10年に1人と言われる天才、奇跡の世代。彼らと同格の選手は存在せず、もし現れたとしてもそれはずっと先のはずだった。彼らが聞いたのは扉の音。その圧倒的天才たちしか入れない部屋の扉がこじ開けられた音。
Togashi wrote the best parts of Kuroko in the Basket. Fact.
No. Let's get real here. Togashi wrote all of Kuroko.
No, he wrote all the good parts, none of the bad parts.
Okay, well, he wrote let's put it like this. He wrote all the good parts of all 3 seasons, which is basically everything. But then he just didn't write like half the movie.
No, the thing about it is what happened was he helped write the manga, and then the anime they adapted it and made it even better because he consulted with them, most likely. That is the official narrative of the Shonen Ronin, right? If you hear another narrative that narrative is not from the Shonen Ronin. Okay, we have evidence, and also while I'm on the topic of evidence, let me just say real quick. We are going to prove that Togashi has played a part in all post-2008 Jump series. We will prove this eventually.
We just need that.
And on that note, hello everybody, we're back again with the Kuroko podcast we said we'd do God knows how long ago. When did we announce this Kuroko podcast? I have no fucking
Months
idea.
ago.
Months ago. And then we got fucking ruined by life.
It was probably like a month and a half, at least.
Yeah. But yeah, I am once again J-Boy Writer. With me today, I got Kalopi.
How you doing?
And I got Mr. Idealist. And I'm just going to cut off Kalopi there. I fucked up. Damn.
See, so what has been happening is that Cherry's been being a bitch, so...
I'm always sort of a bitch, but like...
He's like, well, you're not technically wrong.
But
so
like, this mostly falls on you guys, because like, you guys got dragged away to the bowels of capitalism, so I'm just like, okay.
I mean, we came back. Yeah, I mean, and you did write those
not
Shonen
necessarily
trope talks.
intact, but we came back.
Yes, this is also true. Not intact, but we're back.
I think we mentioned this in the other podcast where we did our introductions. But like, Kalopi, like, where did you even go? Like, didn't you go to like some horrible city just to witness like the horrors of
Chicago? Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not much. It's not much worse than like my own city. It's just like that much bigger, so it's much more like noticeable.
Yeah, we did talk about this the last podcast. I remember it was pretty terrible overall.
viewing all that wealth disparity.
Oh, but on the bright side, I have plans to drop out of college now, so that's good news. I know that doesn't usually sound like good news, but it's good news. Sorry. So what happened was I realized I just need to dedicate my life to Togashi, unironically.
Like, if this was a good life decision, it would be free.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you're not wrong.
How do you argue that? Like,
Don't worry, I have my new religion that I'm starting. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna pay taxes.
Yeah, we're gonna be tax exempt.
Wait, never mind. I was gonna say, like, maybe the only argument you could make is that sex is also free, but then I'm like, wait, you have to pay for.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Like, nah, so not like that didn't even work. I'm like, okay, all right. So yeah, Kalopi's in the right today.
Yeah. To be fair, Kalopi's usually in the right when he's not talking about Boku no Hero or Best Girl. So that is the case.
We've finally broken him of the anarchism streak. So like, yeah, it's fine. It's all good now.
To be fair, we kind of got him into Anarchist Street, so that was only fair.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Who was the one who introduced me to LabTube?
Fuck.
I mean, to be fair, let's be real. So, you gotta understand, when I do things, I don't know what the consequences will be. Despite seeing the flow, it's just like, as a singularity, I can change the flow, but I don't know what will happen to it. I can only see the effects after, okay?
Interesting.
Yes, very. But yeah, we should probably move on to Kuroko right about now. So, we watched the first 3 seasons of Kuroko, which is all of them, and also the movie. I don't know where you guys want to start off with Kuroko, but Haikyuu can get fucked.
Well,
if we were like a month sooner to this podcast, it would probably be like half of us shitting on like Haikyuu, but I think like we're kind of over that hump, at least a little bit.
No, I'm not over the hump. What's gonna happen? See, what happened was they got over the hump, but I wasn't into the hump at the time, really. Like, I agreed that I wasn't into it, but now after rewatching Kuroko and finding out it was written by Togashi, now I'm really into it, because I'm like, wow, all other sports anime are trash. It's just like, okay, so now I need to expose Haikyuu real quick to get this podcast started off. So, if you've seen the Digibro video on Kuroko vs. High School, you know, like, all those points that he made, I basically agree with. Now you gotta add to the fact on top of that Haikyuu... Wait, what was the quote, Cherry, that Togashi wrote about why Kuroko is better than most sports anime? And then you wrote, like, there's that Haikyuu.
It's in here somewhere. Because I know I copied it. Let me look in the quote channel right now. Oh yeah, here it is. The amazing thing about Kuroko no Basket is that it doesn't rely on one powerful super move to dominate the match or letting the protagonist win the match by using a more powerful move than the opponent. Because it doesn't use such a direct path, even if the team that the reader likes.
Sure, you finding the quote? Or is he not alive?
He's
not alive.
Oh fuck!
Don't worry, this can be edited out in post.
Okay, what happened was like my neighbor started using their leaf blower, and so I was gonna go I was gonna close the window so it wouldn't show up. And then I started reading the quote, and I did unclick. Well, I clicked it, but then my mouse double clicked, and I repeated myself twice.
So it was a series of unfortunate events. We understand. Yeah. You're a minus. Got it.
Do you want to start? You want to start that again? And then I can just read off the quote.
Right. So if you've seen the Digibro versus Kuroko versus Haikyuu video, you know the basic arguments of why Kuroko is better than Haikyuu. But to expand on that even further, right? There was a quote that Togashi wrote in his interview with the author of Kuroko no Basket, which is a very important interview, by the way, in regards to like all Shonen Jump, like, period. It
basically proves that the author of Kuroko basically knew absolutely nothing what he was going to do with the series, and that Togashi was like an editor for Kuroko no Basket. So basically, all the good things in Kuroko do in fact come from Togashi. This is confirmed.
Hey, this is confirmed fact. Like, Animal Instinct was already being written at the time.
Like,
that
maybe the author of Kuroko like filled in all the gaps, but like Togashi gave him like the guideline, like the outline of this is how.
Yeah, he wrote it basically.
Like if you read that,
like, if anything, he was the editor, because if anything, the author of Kuroko was the editor, because he was just filling in stopgaps. Like, he was an assistant to Togashi.
Like, at 3 different points, Togashi asks him, like, what do you plan to do with the series going forward? And he straight up says, I don't know. I haven't thought. I'm just like, you idiot. like, the entire idea for last game came from him.
As well as it did. And to be fair to the author of Kuroko, right? Alright, to be absolutely fair, right?
You're a bitch.
He does really good art. Like, his art, when he tries, the art is really good, actually. And in addition to that, the pacing of the manga is actually really good. So even if Togashi gave him the ideas, he knows how to put together, like, a sports manga in terms of, like, the flow and pacing of the story, right? But besides that, basically everything good about Kuroko, story-wise, comes from Togashi. But the reason I bring this up is because there was a quote in that interview where Togashi stated his opinion on sports anime and why Kuroko is better than most sports anime. And this applies big time to Haikyuu's inferiority. So if you could read the quote, Cherry, that'd be helpful.
Okay. So the quote is, "The amazing thing about Kuroko no Basuke is that it doesn't rely on one powerful super move to dominate the match, or let the protagonist win the match using a more powerful move than the opponent. Because it doesn't take such a direct path, even if the team that the reader likes loses, they will still feel comfortable about it." And that's the entire quote right there.
Yeah. So basically what he's saying there is that, or at least how this applies to Haikyuu's lack of quality is like, besides all the things that Cherry tweeted about in his tweet thread, which we'll probably link in the description.
Yeah, I'll be using it for the Why Haikyuu Sucks post eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna make a video on that at some point. Which, that usually means months from now, but we'll do it. But the other thing about that is that problem with Haikyuu, the reason it has such slow pacing in comparison to Kuroko is because every single arc is building up to some type of move, even if the move is a team play move. It's all building up to some type of move or play that they're going to do, that they're going to use to dominate the opponent. Which is why, so you have to spend a lot of time developing it, otherwise no one's going to care. Which, to Haikyuu's credit, people care now. A few people.
Just because the boys look pretty. Let's be real.
Yeah, because it was whatever. But
no, that's true. Haikyuu has to build that up over entire episodes, and maybe that's more
just to
realistic
build one
in real
move.
life.
Yeah,
but then Kuroko's just let's just show this off. This is cool. And for one point, and then maybe a couple other points, they develop the technique and improve upon it, or find a way to counter it. But it doesn't win the game entirely. You still have to do other team plays and stuff like that. Well, in Haikyuu, it's just that one move they developed all that time finally paid off.
Yeah, the thing about Haikyuu
is... sorry. You could go.
The thing about Haikyuu is it inadvertently makes, both through its writing and through, the thing you're describing right now, it makes volleyball seem really fucking lame. Because, one of the things Haikyuu, literally just does not do at all is, usually, you know how, in when sports series start, the characters are in high school, and they always go through that one scene where they're, walking at the school club festival, and they're trying to pick out the sport. Well, basically, metatextually speaking, right, that scene is supposed to be, why we should, choose this sports manga over another one, because I remember Murasaki Bara in the Takeout arc literally got asked to join the volleyball club. So it's just so why should we care about volleyball over basketball? And Haikyuu's author goes about this in an incredibly roundabout way that other good sports manga Ippo or Kuroko or Hinamorizumo they don't do. Instead of directly showing you the appeal of the sport through the strategies and the sort of through the strategies and just sort of making the
is
game
this
more
the sentimentality point again?
It kind of just assumes that you like volleyball to begin with.
Yeah, and it directly ties the roles of the volleyball roles in the game to the players, and so by contrast, if you don't like any of the characters, and you're probably not, because all the characters in Haikyuu are pretty boring. So whenever he spikes the ball or something like that, I'm not excited. I'm just this guy's lame. I don't like when he spikes the ball. Now we got the what's that short haired kid name again? The libero. He's really cool, Nishinoya. And so, whenever he does something, it's oh my god, the cool guy did something. But,
not to mention he has the best voice. I think Bakugo Accelerator.
He's actually, Nishinoya
is that someone else I got mixed up?
Kirishima.
Yeah.
He's Kirishima.
Oh, I see.
It fits 100% perfectly. That's excellent typecasting right there.
I see, that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, I was kind of dumb back when I watched Haikyuu, so I think I gave it, an 8. At least the second season, because I really liked that, I think it was Okikawa or something. I really liked that opponent. But
the only season I rated above a average was the third season. That's only because it was just one match. So, even though the pacing was slow, it was, the one match was we were finally getting all the payoff for like 2 seasons of basically nothing happening. So I was like, okay, this is fine. Enough.
We all rewatched the third season together, and
we skipped episodes. We straight up skipped we skipped I think two different episodes in that one. The first one was the first episode.
No, we did skip 2 seasons. Like, what are you talking about? We skipped a whole bunch of stuff.
We actually did. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he said, and it didn't feel any different, did it?
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
On my first watch of Haikyuu, it was okay, but like compared to any other sports anime, I don't feel like any reason to rewatch Haikyuu. Like, it's just so boring. Like, maybe like your first exposure to it might be all right. Like, if you're not Cherry and you don't have like insanely high standards and just hate humanity.
Yeah.
But just watch any other sports anime. Really.
It's true. But like the thing about Haikyuu is that the fans of Haikyuu are really hardcore into Haikyuu because they spent so much time with these characters. Because like it's a fact that the more time you spend with characters, even if like or people, even if nothing happens, like the longer you're exposed to something, the more you like it, regardless of what it is.
Yes,
so
the fairy tale conundrum.
So it's like because Haikyuu is so paced, it's just like you feel like the development is worth it if you like keep up with it week by week, or like as it comes out, or like when you're marathoning it, as opposed to like if you just like whereas like marathoning it is less so like brings out that feeling, but it's still possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
Basically, when it ends, you're gonna feel the Naruto effect if it just gets significantly worse.
I feel that that's unfair to Naruto because I actually like Naruto better after it ended and I like was rewatching parts. But to be fair, I did skip some parts. But so that is the case too.
Yeah.
No, you gotta understand. Cherry doesn't like Naruto or anything really. So
I like shonen. I just don't like bad shonen.
Again, so he doesn't really like anything. But
he's
a good boy. He's a good boy deep down.
A side note, but Mr. Idealist was saying how, wait, why don't they just take the Haikyuu characters that are playing volleyball and make it a girls' team? I'd like it so much more. And it's not necessarily volleyball, but they did do that with
the badminton anime,
yeah,
right?
the badminton anime. It's all girls. They're all beautiful. It's by the same director of Haikyuu, so it kind of has like the same like type of feeling, but like it's
regardless
girls, so.
of whether you like or hate Haikyuu, you should check out Batman just because it's like a girl version of Haikyuu, which is like instantly better by comparison.
It
doesn't really fix any of the. Yeah, there's one yandere chick. Like, I don't know,
Nice.
I was reading a couple chapters of the manga, and I don't think she's like a yandere in the manga. I could be wrong. But they just make her a yandere in the anime.
It's funny because, like, as Browsette has proved, like, if you make something a girl, it instantly becomes 10 times more likable. It's just a fact.
Of course.
And this is why... No, let me not say that. Cut it out. Let me not say that. Let me not die today.
I know. I'm sure the trans community was going to kill you. But don't worry,
disaster averted. Disaster averted. Oh, man. Okay, so, the other thing about Kuroko that we need to talk about, absolutely need to talk about, is, how the anime improves on the manga significantly. And that's mostly by actually giving a fuck, especially towards the end. So,
my god. Should we talk about how much shit was added into the movie that the author just did not care to write? My god.
Okay, so this is going to be completely out of order, so forgive me, but the biggest and most obvious thing that the anime added that the manga did not have was an ending, right? A proper ending, okay? So, I made this point, and this is a point I will forever be salty about. So, like, if you ever talk to me about Kuroko, this is something that's probably going to come up at some point. But it's like, one of the things I'm forever salty about is the fact that there's a couple of things about it. One is that Kuroko will never go into the zone. But two is that the manga did not end. It's like the manga did not actually end. It's like, and if you read the manga, I know what you're thinking. It's like, wait, it did end. No, if you read Extra Game and you read the last pages of Extra Game, the very last pages after everybody wins and they take the photo and yada yada, at the same point, and you compare that to like where the anime ends. The manga ends exactly after they win, and we only get like a few cutaway panels to like their faces practicing or something, and like yeah, and
it actually has to say the end on there.
Yeah, and we get some dialogue from I'm guessing this is Kiyoshi. It's hard to tell. We get some dialogue from Kiyoshi and the old captain of the Generation of Miracles. But besides that, like that's literally 1 page of dialogue, by the way. And so when I say Kiyoshi and the old captain of the Generation of Miracles, that is literally like split between the two of them on 1 page. So we get that after they win, and then we just get some screenshots, and that's it. That's how the manga ends. This manga that's been going on for like how many plus years ends this way. So compare that.
Has to be at least 3 years. Damn.
Yeah. So compare that to like the good 15 minutes or so of like an actual ending it has. And I just cannot believe it.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, like they like after the game ends, we get a whole bunch of scenes with them sort of like hanging out, and we get this really really fucking like a heart tugging emotional, just amazing made me cry goodbye scene for between Kagami and Kuroko at the airport.
It's like they took it right from like Hunter x Hunter, that goodbye scene. I mean, it wasn't as good.
Oh my god!
You could tell it just felt like and gone just like.
I mean that could be a Hunter
and you might cry.
Scene. It was really good. It was really good.
See, then this is why I said that he went to the anime studio and gave them advice on You guys don't believe me, but like
I don't tell
people. No, the people in the crowd's not gonna believe me, but I'll tell you, bro. I'm gonna prove this one day. It's just like this is just a fact.
Like what better way to end this movie than Kuroko and Kagima? They just like give themselves like a fist bump and they part ways. You know.
If anything. It probably, like, the author was, like, giving it, it was probably like, well, Togashi said this should probably end like this. And it's like, oh, well. Okay. That's how I exactly imagine it.
In the fairness of this bitch of an author, we have to talk about, like, the whole controversy thing. Because apparently at some point, like, towards the ending of Kuroko, he was getting, like, I guess, like, death threats or something. And so...
Oh, yes, a bomb threat.
So it's death threats, bomb threats, so for that reason, it's still not teachable, but I guess he lost motivation to actually write, and so he bitched out. And that's why everything's terrible.
No. So let me tell you what actually happened, because I was around when this happened, and I actually this was back in the days when I was still on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook anymore, but this was back in the days when I was still on Facebook. I didn't know these guys yet, and these fucking idiots were talking about, oh, I can totally understand why he would get a bomb threat, because like the bomb. No, like you. Well, between you and me, Wesley, you know the other Wesley from Facebook who's, like, complete dumb and just...
yes, the old...
Yeah, he's the one who said that.
For those who don't know, like basically, me and Mr. Idealist met another Wesley completely independently. By the way, completely independent in entirely different circles, in entirely different time. But we both know this name is Wesley, which my first name is Wesley, and I basically hate all anime at this point now, besides like shonen, and this old one's complete like old person dick writing. He dick writes every old anime there will ever be to exist, and we both hate him equally.
Yeah, but the reason I hate it is because, like, literally the guy was like, oh, it makes sense that he got a bomb. Because the reason the bomb threat was a thing is because the guy was complaining about, oh, it's copying off of Slam Dunk. And he's like, and this dude's like, justify it. It's like, yeah, it totally makes sense. Like, I'd be mad about him copying Jump that too. It's like, and I'm like, are you just, and so I'm like, are you saying that you're, are you saying that you approve of the guy literally threatening a manga author with a bomb? He said, no, I don't. He didn't even say, no, I don't approve, by the way. No, he didn't even. The thing that got me is that he never even denied that that's what he meant. Like, if he had just denied it, it's like, no, that's not what I meant, I could just understand.
Wait,
like, okay, I would forgive him. But he never even denied that's what he meant. So
I made that joke, but didn't Ikeon just literally make tweets about, like death threats and stuff, and it's just like, this is fine, they probably deserved it. Like, I'm not wrong here, right? This is real.
Listen. I my opinion of Econ is so low, I believe anything you tell me.
Oh no. But yes, to make a long story short, so like my whole beef with that Wesley was because he said that, because like as much as I dislike the author, it's just like no, bomb threats help literally no one. It's just like, why would you do that? But the reason I bring it up is because freaking. So what happened was because a lot of people in Japan apparently were thinking like Kuroko, because people in Japan, they love slam dunk, so they don't want their they feel like it's an insult when or at least as far as I heard, it's like some of them, there's a small minority of people, right? But obviously, because like it's always a small minority that makes the bomb threats, but but like a small minority of people are upset because like slam dunk, I guess they're salty that it didn't get a good anime, and like while Kuroko, which they feel like Hobby got like this wonderful anime with perfect animation and pacing. It's like that's all I can assume, because I don't know why else would you be mad. It's just like
that's hilarious.
Because, like, literally, why else would you be mad? Because, like, every story steals from every other story, so it doesn't make sense to be
It's
mad.
like these people don't understand how influence works. Like, in the interview itself with Togashi and Fuki, what's his name? Fukuyama?
Yeah.
What's this guy's first name?
I always call him Hyuga because he said he looks the most like Hyuga.
Fujimaki. He even says like he's a big slam dunk fan himself, and like it's slam dunk and Hunter x Hunter like are his two main inspirations. So I'm like, I don't know why you guys are complaining. Like, this is just how influence works. You should be happy.
Yeah. Speaking of influence, right? But besides the whole Bonta thing, speaking of influence, he was also saying that he subconsciously took influence from like Yu Yu Hakusho, and like while he was working with Togashi as an editor and stuff. So it's like from every single metric this guy was taking, and Togashi is a fan of slam dunk.
Can we just put like those two matching images of Sensui and the guy who looks exactly like Sensui and Kuroko right on the screen right now?
Yes,
because they're exactly.
It's the same dude.
Yeah, it really.
No, but like, basically, from every single angle you can look at it, Togashi had a massive influence on this series, which itself has had a massive influence on another new Jump series.
Not to mention, Akashi literally has Emperor Time, except it's his eye.
Yes. Yes. Speaking of, okay, so let me just very quickly list off some abilities and things I think he got from Togashi, right? Animal instincts. Meruem has them, right? And Meruem, Pito, the Chimera Ants, they all have animal instincts. And I believe it was being written around the same time, either like just released or like close to being released at the time. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but like I feel like he got.
There's a good chance the Chimera Ant arc was at that point or something. Yeah,
I don't have the exact dates. Forgive me, but like. Again, this dating is going to become important later when we reveal that Togashi has influenced literally everything in Jump past 2008. But the main thing is animal instincts definitely came from him. A lot of the plot points we already established came from the entirety of last game came from him. What else? What other theory that I had? No, I was gonna say the Kuroko brother thing, but no, that was part of the draft thing. So. I can't give him credit for that because that's not even canon. But like, fun fact for anyone who doesn't know, Akashi and Kuroko were originally going to be brothers, but that idea was scrapped.
It's kind of like the whole the reason he changed it was because like he wanted that Kuroko to go he could go greatness from nowhere sort of thing, kind of like with like whole like Rey from Star Wars, except this version actually works. Yeah,
I feel like. I'm not upset because this actually does work considering that thematically, because Kuroko's supposed to be like, nobody, he's invisible. Like if he came from a rich background and had a bunch of privilege,
I mean there are ways of writing him into like the same family as Akashi, like how you can do like the whole like second raker sort of thing like Togashi did, like like you got the prince and then you got like the fucking other child that just doesn't need to be there. So like he still could have done it. It just would have taken
I suppose you could have. I suppose he could have forced it if like he really wanted to do it.
Yeah, but I guess this is just more.
It just works much. Yeah,
you would
it
have
just
to
works much.
change the plot basically.
Yeah, basically, you would have to change like literally everything in order to make it work. And we all know like he didn't have a plan. So if he had planned it out, he could have went like that. But Togashi saved it, so it's fine.
But yeah, but in our minds now, I just mentally refer to them as brothers because that's how it honestly feels like it should have been.
Yeah, the character designs are still very similar, so it works. So.
Oh yeah. More proof the guy is sort of a hack. So Akashi's ability is Emperor Eye. You know that's super cool ability, right? Well, Kuroko develops like basically like the opposite version, and guess what it's called? No, it's not the Trickster Eye like you'd be thinking, or even like the Shadow Eye. It's called the Quasi Emperor Eye. So clearly, Togashi did not name this.
He's like, he got the idea from Togashi and he didn't want to change it because, like, what if it's bad? Which it probably would have been. Which, oh yeah, and almost forgot Woman's Intuition. Oh yeah. We haven't released a trope talk yet, right? You still gotta, like, record that and edit that, right? But,
yep.
You're the audience right now. In the past, I have no idea what trope talk is, but in the future, y'all gonna know what trope talk is. And this is where we got the idea for this trope talk. And like we didn't even realize when we were writing it until like after it was done that, oh snap, all these ideas came from Togashi. How did this happen? It was like, yeah.
Well, we actually have a bunch of ideas for a script, but like right now I'm currently like hung up writing this masculinity practice post because I'm sick of all of you people whining about toxic masculinity without doing something about it. So now I just need to fix it, and I already told myself I'm putting off everything until it's done. So like I'm like 75% done.
Yes,
I just gotta like
you point out.
I just gotta write the plus minus part.
Where's the solution?
You see, Kolopi, making solutions and reconstructions takes effort, and no one wants to do that.
Oh yeah, if you, I'll probably also link this in the description, but I recently have disavowed myself from LeftTube and the left in general because as I said in my post that I'm going to link, they're all swagger and no dagger. So.
Hashtag Solia references. No, I don't get because they're not in the anime.
Oh my god, yo, that panel is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen them on, like, all swagger and no dagger. It's so corny. It just works.
Kalopi put the meme right here, just right above.
Alright.
It's like all swagger and no dagger. See, the author of Kuroko is all swagger and no dagger. He needs Togashi to hand him the dagger. And Togashi is an expert at killing, as we all know.
It's true. He just has this... I love how Togashi just always has this constant impulse to kill his character. It's like... oh my god.
It's like George R. R. Martin, but in like the best way possible.
As we've said many times, George R. R. Martin's just Togashi at his worst.
Oof. It's funny because...
What if Togashi was a pacifist?
Oh no! God! No!
I don't even want to fucking think about that. Especially now that we just got the recent chapter where with Hulkenberg's awakening, and then fucking no.
Oh my god! I still cannot get it. I will never get over that in my life. Like, if you're wondering, like, if you think I'm an idiot for dropping out of college,
chapter reviews.
You know, I think I'm just gonna start doing 100 chapter reviews because Mark's not doing them right now. I'm like,
I can't do them because I need a place to do them. Thank you, Mr. Privilege. But
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to do them.
Alright, but I don't trust y'all do chapter reviews.
Well, too bad. You better go.
Oh yeah, I can't believe Tales of Nerdy had left. I didn't watch that stream, but tight. Just when we needed him most, he vanished on some Avatar shit.
Did anyone?
I'm so disappointed.
Did anyone here actually watch the stream? I watched like 10 minutes of it, then I had like writing to do.
No, because I was writing. I had a good reason for not doing it because I was writing the script, as you know, on the philosophy of Togashi. So I felt like, like this seems thematically appropriate that I dodge the stream for this. But yeah.
You know, I would say at this point we've drifted too far from the topic of Kuroko into Togashi.
No, you would think that.
But
since you wrote it, you know,
we just got into the roots of what Kuroko's all about.
Shonen Ronin, it started as like a leftist podcast about shonen, but now it's just like the Togashi podcast. Honestly,
to be honest, Shonen Ronin started out as like my idea of a leftist anime sphere, but now I realize that that's garbo, and we should literally just dedicate all our lives to the study of Togashi. Because like literally, okay, I'm dead serious. Like, if you think it was a bad idea to drop out of college in order to pursue a life of just promoting a religion of Togashi in real life, read the latest chapter of Hunter x Hunter. Which chapter is it? 300 and what now?
I will look that up for you, but you can keep talking.
Yeah, just read the latest chapter, 300 something. I forget the exact number, but like, read that chapter.
382.
Read chapter 382, right? Obviously read the manga, but like, read up to 300. I would hope that you have at least seen the anime. But like, yeah. See the anime, right? Obviously. Everyone should see on there somewhere. And then read up to chapter 382. And then tell me that I should not dedicate my life to this man. I will not believe you. You cannot say that with a straight face. Like, my God. Like, this man. This God, I should say. Jesus.
So yeah, left-wing politics are stupid, right-wing politics are stupid, humans are stupid, follow Togashi.
It's funny because, like, we're going to be called centrists. It's like conservatives and fascists and all that other bullshit.
Listen, humans do not have the right to govern themselves. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Y'all fucked up this planet for over 2,000 years. Just install the AI overlords and go into the Matrix already. Go to sleep. Sit down. Stop fucking it up.
Like, China is literally making psychopaths a reality, so...
Listen, like I know, like, psychopaths, like, it's not the objectively worst society you can live in. But the issue is that
it's the preferable fascism.
But listen, the issue is that it's not run by AI overlords. It's run by humans, and they're just gonna fuck it up again.
Oh, you're right. That sucks.
Yeah, the problem is, like, you're saying humans need to be governed by someone else, but while that is true, what needs to happen is that they need to be governed by someone else who is taking their surplus value and investing it in the new species that will replace them. I'm telling you, this is what Morgan is all about, and I'm not afraid to say this anymore, because Togashi said in chapter 382, if you're gonna say that we don't need a king, you must become a king and then say that, okay? So what that means is that all y'all niggas are wrong, y'all all stupid, you're all gonna die, and you're gonna be replaced. That's it. I love how we went completely off topic, by the way.
I was like, I don't want power. That's bad. But then, like, how are you going to change anything?
Anarchists are stupid. Oh my god, I love how far away from Kuroko this is drifted. This is good. I like.
I'm sorry. Like, I literally cannot think about anything else these last few days. Yeah. Oh my god, I did it. And that's not even, like, the only thing that happened in that chapter. Is like, any single incident in that chapter would have been, like, masterpiece worthy by itself. But then you add it all happened in one chapter, and I'm just like, wow.
Now, was this the chapter the assistant claimed to cry while reading, or is this still coming up?
No, I think it's still coming up. That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. This ain't even it, bro. Yo.
Okay, but we should get back into Kuroko.
Probably, and, yeah. That would be the response.
What makes Kuroko, like, so special to me is, like, it is a sports anime, and, like, it's, like, it has all the same hype that a sports anime has, but it's just, like, so, like, gamified. Like, there's systems to it that you can, like, they're understood and, like, just, like, elaborate on in a fashion like a manga can make it more entertaining. Like, things like, Kuroko's misdirection overflow, or just, like, really cool mechanics, basically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That just, like, explore, like, how much can I do with this, system here. And yeah, I feel like there's other sports things that do this pretty well, like Baby Steps, for example, does it really well, but it's more in the sense of, like, going professional, like, that kind of context. So there's a lot of exploring of, like, what you can do in this sport, but it's not the same as Kuroko, that's just, like, building the pure hype around this.
The interesting thing about Kuroko to me is that, so to quickly let everyone know, Kuroko is basically, like, the first anime that got me into anime. Like, technically I saw Naruto first, and then it was, like, Fairy Tail, and that got me to watch videos on YouTube, and then King of Lightning then got me into basically all of my favorites. all my early favorites, like Kuroko, Suicide Island, Kingdom, the basically like all those things that he recommended, and he definitely got me into Kuroko. And then what happened with Kuroko, I was like, wow, anime is really amazing, because Kuroko was the first series to ever like get me hype, and I can tell you the exact moment, like to this day, I can tell you the exact moment, like I felt hype for like the first time like ever, because like the thing about me, I'm really weird, is like I'm not a very excitable person, if you can't tell by like my voice and stuff, or like the way I talk about just like humanity.
I think that's kind of goes with the window when you're talking about Hunter x Hunter, but like
yeah. But like if you can't tell from these podcasts, I'm not normally an excitable person. But the first time I was ever, so like even as a kid, I wasn't very excitable. Like I would play and like jump on bouncy castles, all that, and pretend to be excited. But really, I was just like, this is fun. This is interesting. The first time I ever got like really hyped was when I watched Kisei for the first time ever. Perfect copy Domine and surpass it. Like, that was the first moment in my entire life I was hyped, and from then I was hooked. Like shonen anime was the way for me, and it's like the thing that makes this so funny to me is that low key this is all being written by Togashi in the background. So always since the beginning, Togashi has been there guiding me. It's
when we find the key to prove Togashi just basically read all of Shonen Jump from like 2008 onward. It's gonna be like the scene of like when Kagami opens the gate. Except instead of Kuroko, it's gonna be, it was you, Togashi, and we're all gonna be crying.
We gotta just like edit a video and just be like,
oh no, we're editing that meme. That video is not getting made without that meme. I refuse.
So it was you, Togashi. It's like, that's me, but like unironically though, because it was like, so it was you, Togashi. You got me in the anime, and then you got me in the Hunter x Hunter. It's like, oh my god, it's so good. But yes, so like that was the scene that got me into anime, like basically. And like I was screaming, I was like, "Oh my god, this is Casey!" Right? It was like one of the highest things ever. And it's like, and the thing is, the hype was building before that. Like I was starting to get inklings of it in the earlier scenes of Kuroko, like when Kuroko was doing the spinning move, spinning the ball around with the cyclone pass, and all that. And when he was dunking, I was like, "Ooh, this is exciting," you know. But I don't consider it exciting and hype as the same thing, because like, I've been excited before, but I've never been, like, losing my mind hype until that moment. Like, I was so excited, like, I literally could not think about anything else. Or, like, stop what I was doing. That may be the
difference I felt while watching Haikyuu the first time. I felt excited, but, like, that doesn't carry over to, like, the rewatch, being excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Kuroko,
the thing about hype is, like, hype continues to be hype even after, like, you've experienced it once.
It just like, comes from like the amazing pacing, basically.
Yeah. Whereas excitement is like, you can be excited at one moment, but like something can ruin your mood like instantly before, or like something could ruin your mood before you watch something, and then you just won't be excited or hype. Like with a hype moment, that doesn't happen though. That's what I feel about it.
Yeah,
but that's just my theory on hype.
Hype has to have like an element of awe to it. Like you're just absolutely dumbstruck.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, so what I wanted to mention about like Kuroko is like you wanted to mention like sort of like the concept of like the zone and how people got into their triggers.
Oh yeah. So before we get into the zone though, there's just one quick thing, because like I want to save the zones and the trigger for like later down the line, or like best for last type of thing. Mm-hmm. But another thing about Kuroko is that I often consider it like the best sports anime. And to be fair, I am biased. I will fully admit this. I'm biased because it was my first sports anime. But like, even the ones that I've seen afterwards that people all hail as like the best, right? Like, to be fair, I haven't seen the one by that author of the manga artist for One Punch Man. I haven't seen the football one, so that might be hype.
He made a football manga? One Punch Man?
No, not the author, the artist.
Eye Shield?
Oh, yeah, Eye Shield 21.
Yeah.
I hear that one has Kuroko levels of craziness too, but like I don't know, I don't really trust people's opinions anymore. But you know, yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot at one point.
Yeah, I want to give Eye Shield a shot, but I haven't seen Eye Shield. I have seen Ippo. Like I haven't seen all of Ippo, but I've seen some Ippo. It doesn't do it for me personally, but I was like, I see why it's so hyped, right? I understand.
Ippo. I'd say the moments are just as hype as Kuroko. It's just that Kuroko overall is paced much better.
Yeah, that's the main thing about it. It's like, this is good content, but it's just like, because it's an older anime, I feel it's not paced as well. And I seen Ping Pong, and people will be like, oh, Ping Pong is deeper. It's like, first of all, I understand where you get the idea, but I feel like every single theme that Ping Pong touches on, Kuroko does it. And the thing is, Ichiro said like Ping Pong is like the more mature version of Haikyuu, but I don't think that's fair to Kuroko.
That's not even fair to Ping Pong.
Not mature of Haikyuu. The more mature version of Kuroko. My bad. Ping Pong is the more mature version of Kuroko, he said, where it covers a lot of the same themes. But I was like, I feel that's not really fair to Kuroko, honestly. It's like, cause like, clearly we have different tastes because like, I just like shonen over, like, if you give me something that's covers the exact same things, but one is shonen and one is not, like, I'm obviously gonna choose the shonen thing.
Because but I say shonen characters aren't bitches, yeah.
But even then, it's like, I feel like just based on like what the content is in there, it's like Kuroko covers like the same things, and I feel like I don't know. I can't really make a like solid like Ping Pong versus Kuroko thing, but I would say they're at least it's not like clearly Ping Pong is superior like people make it out to be. Like it's like a so like clear difference, like night and day difference, like between the mature Ping Pong and the kid Kuroko. It's like, no, I wouldn't go that far as to say that. But yeah, don't get me wrong, Ping Pong is definitely good though. I do enjoy Ping Pong quite a bit. But like, even then for me, and like those are the only one. But like Ping Pong is like pretty much the only one that like really competes. Ping Pong, Ippo, what other sports anime are there?
I really like Baby Steps. You should check that out.
Yeah. I haven't seen Baby Steps yet, but I already know that I'm gonna like Kuroko better just because like it's more hype. But it's like
I haven't checked out any other particular sports manga besides Hinomori Zumo, which is like birthed from Kuroko.
No. So the thing about Zumo is like I want to bring up Zumo later, but like we can bring it on. The thing about Zumo is like I'm enjoying Zumo quite a bit. 13 chapters now. But the thing about Zumo is that because it takes such direct influence from Kuroko, as like. And we were talking about this earlier. It's like Zumo is like shaping up from what I read so far. It's shaping up to be like the pinnacle, like individual, like sports anime, like individual, like tournament arc, continuous tournament arc anime, right? Or manga in this case. Whereas Kuroko is like the ultimate like team, like sports anime. So it's like how I think it might end up being is that they'll be like the two top best sports anime, and which one you like better. It depends on whether or not you enjoy watching team play more, or whether you like watching one character overcome another individually more. Which is like,
well, in all fairness, like, so later on, like Zumo does sort of get some more like sort of team aspects when they have like their team matches. Like there's still one-on-one individual matches, but like sort of the team dynamics comes into play a lot more. Like how they affect each other as characters, and it's all written really well. But like also the thing about Kuroko, and this is why like it's going to be really hard for Zumo to pass Kuroko. Is that Kuroko just has both. I mean,
yeah,
like it has the perfection of team play, and it also has like the perfection of individual matches because of all its focus on the ace and everything. So it's just like it's gonna be real hard for you to like beat Kuroko.
Yeah, and that's why I say that it's my favorite one, and why I claim it to be the best one. Like, if you disagree, that's fine-ish. Like, it's becoming less fine the more I realize how much Togashi wrote it. But it's like,
I knew that was coming. Yep.
But like overall, it's still fine-ish if you feel like Ping Pong is better. Like I said, but
also, now I'm always like, there's like so many sports anime, but then I realize no, there's not. They're like,
oh, you know what's another one I haven't seen that I feel like it's not going to be better than Kuroko, but I should probably see that one about that baseball guy who's like 1 ounce, I think it's called.
1 ounce. Oh.
That seems more like a psychological thriller like Liar Game.
Yeah, that seems more like
it's by the author. It's by the author of Liar Game, so it's gonna.
That makes so much sense, yo.
So it's gonna be. I've heard comparisons to like Kaiji too, or something. Maybe not. Probably not. But it's by the guy who made Liar Game, so you can expect like what.
Okay, I gotta say.
Okay, maybe Kaiji is the best sports anime. Maybe.
I would put Kaiji as my favorite sports anime. I don't know about you.
Fair. I will accept that.
Okay, I gotta point this out this way,
guys. So, if you haven't watched Kaiji, it's not really a sports anime. Okay.
Just to let y'all know.
I gotta bring up my taste in art has changed at this point, because now whenever I hear the words like psychological thriller, deep, and complex, my brain just immediately rolls its eyes like ping pong balls in my skull, because you people have hyped up all these deep, complex, these shitty ass seinen manga like Cowboy Bebop and like Berserk and all this shit.
Seinen rant incoming.
They're all fucking ideological ass. Okay, so you have to understand, we here at Shonen Ronin, we're all misanthropes. That's just a thing. We hate humans. We literally just said you should not be allowed to govern yourselves, and you just let the AI robot overlords take over. That's it. That's fine. But the thing about it is, it's changed my tastes in art. And I don't know about this for you, but for you, any of you guys out there, if there's any other low key misanthropes listening to this podcast, but now both
I feel like they would be the only ones at this point.
But now with human beings and by proxy characters, they exist in binary for me, right? Either you're fucking up or you're not. And so the problem with seinen characters is just they're all fucking up. And everything that's this deep and complex, it's all fucking up. But it's using all of its complexity and shit. It's just oh, it's deep and complex. But yeah, he's still fucking up. Spike Spiegel at the end of Cowboy Bebop said ever since that day, my one eye has seen the future, the present, but my other eye has seen the past. And just oh man, that's really complex. You probably should have talked to a doctor about that though. I'm just saying.
So for context, right? Both who were the people who released both Wisecrack and Anime Philosopher, who is a good channel by the way, check her out. But both of them released Cowboy Bebop videos in the same day, and with the topics they were covering, I realized this is entirely my fault why he's going on this rant, because I pointed out that wait a minute, Vicious was just right the whole time. What the fuck? I never noticed. And
Vicious was wrong because he's the only guy who's not a bitch. I died. My soul died. My faith in people's taste in art died.
I'm sorry, I killed it completely.
Wait, should I rewatch Cowboy Bebop just to understand how Vicious was right?
No, basically what had happened was incoming edgy sociopath stuff coming for all you normies who may still be watching. I don't know why you would still be here, but if you are,
exit out right now or subscribe.
Or if you are, or if you're just trying to look for evidence to shit on us in the future, here you go. All right. So Vicious, his basic philosophy boils down to if you cannot survive, then you don't deserve to. So, which on the surface is wow, that seems really cool, but it's is he wrong though? It's objectively speaking, it's forget about traditional Judean Christian ethics for a second. Let's talk about what evolution is. It's just if you cannot survive. And it's I understand you're supposed to say, oh, you can't get your morality for evolution and stuff. It's just because it's natural doesn't mean it's moral. It's yeah, I got you. But at the same time, it's
I just remember Cherry in the last podcast saying, global warming's if the Earth was just trying to purge its system from something that just went wrong, like a virus.
Alright, so I know it's in the naturalistic fallacy is it's a thing that people say, but it's you gotta keep in mind it's naturalistic fallacy aside, it's is it wrong though? It's it's where else are morals going to come from, right? That's what I'm saying. It's you gotta think, and it's because I'm an Epicurean. That's why it's just Epicureans. We are nice people. We treat people right, but our reasons for being nice are completely different than Christians. Or Christians are oh, if you don't treat people nice, you can't get into heaven. It's no, we just treat people nice because we don't want to fuck with you because we don't want you fucking with us. Basically, it's like not like in like an anarchist way, but it's like
I'm not even sure
more
that's
like
how it works. I think it's just, you know, like if you fuck up, just put $1 in the donation box and God forgives you.
No, I'm talking about like I'm talking about like morality wise speaking, like
is that not how Christian morality works? Just money.
Stop. But like Epicureanism is not utilitarianism in a sense, because like it is kind of, but not really, because like the way it works is like, obviously if you present us with a trolley problem, we're gonna pull the lever. Like if you don't pull the lever, you're just an idiot. Like, but it's like, nah, I'm being straight up. I don't care what anyone says. Like if you don't pull the lever in the trolley problem, you're a fucking dumbass. I don't care. But like Maxim, get out of here. But obviously we'll put it there, but overall, like, the morality of Epicureanism is just, like, functionally selfish. So it's like, you can do whatever you want, so long as it doesn't disrupt your own tranquility. So it's like, as long as you don't fuck yourself up, then it's like, whatever you want to do, it's fine. So it's like, from that perspective, it's like, it's not even wrong, it's not moral, it's completely amoral. There is no inherent objective right or wrong in the universe. So it's like, by an amoral perspective, vicious is not wrong. So it's,
it's so to give an example of like Epicurean, it's like he wouldn't call murder wrong. Like if you get your jollies by murdering someone, that's fine. But the issue is that like it's gonna piss off your neighbors, and then they're gonna come like kill you. So like you really shouldn't do that. And it's like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
If you guys are continue on this thread, you said, like, you talked about this earlier before, and then you mentioned, like, how Togashi approaches this. And it's... Wait,
the thing about how Togashi approaches this, that's a whole 3-4 part series that I'm doing. So...
This was me reading your post earlier, so I'll let you cover that in the video.
No, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say too much, but it's like, basically, for a little teaser, since, you know, whoever's still here watching this podcast, you know, hi. Here's a little preview of what's coming up. And for anyone who's, like, fans from the future, hopefully, maybe, we don't die. But, like, hi, so this is what we planned to do, and this is how we did it. So basically, Togashi is an Epicurean, as far as I can tell. So, how that translates into, like, his characters is, like, none of the characters that he writes in any of his series are framed as bad because of what they do. Like, he has characters who are assassins, who are, like, are murderers, you know, stuff like that. And they're not framed as bad because they are murderers. You know, they'll be framed as, they might be looked at strangely, but it's like, in level E, for an example, this is only a slight spoiler, but like, in level E, for example, there's a teacher who like literally kills people for money because she wants to travel the universe, like an alien teacher. And it's like, she is not framed as a bad guy at all. Like, she's completely framed as like just a neutral character who just like, she wants to live her life, and like, what the path
if anything,
she
that
chose
scene was
just
like
works for
really
her.
comical too.
Yeah, that's the thing, because level E is a comedy, to be fair, but like, yeah. But it's not entirely fair, because like, it's not that it couldn't have been framed as a dangerous thing, because like, if you watch level E, you'll know that, when level E gets serious, it can get very serious. It can get very scary. But with this teacher, she's framed as like an assistant to the kids, and she's actually framed as like an actual good person. And this is despite the fact that we know that she kills many people for money, for her own selfish reasons. So it brings into questions like the traditional like morals of people. And that's basically what Togashi does with like all his series. But yeah, that's just a sneak peek. What were we talking about again?
Well, I was
maybe we should talk about Kuroko.
I was going to bring it back to Kuroko. I was going to bring it back to Kuroko because, like, in Kuroko, no one really is especially like considered like wrong, except for maybe the guy who
steals the moon. Yeah,
and even then, like he still receives a lot of sympathy from Kuroko. Only Kuroko.
Well, he's
That's what I'm saying,
Kuroko, but he's Kuroko, but a minus. So
to be fair to Kuroko, it's like, because like Kuroko, I think what happened was not only did Togashi write it, but it's just basketball at the end of the day. Like despite whatever threats Akashi made about like just taking out his own eyes, no one's gonna die. So it was just like you can more easily frame that type of amorality without like the entire like population of the country like raising up arms against you for like corrupting the children on some shit, on some Socrates.
Well, there was that one time they just like injured Tepe on purpose. That might be a reason.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, well yeah. There's always Team Bad Boys, the assholes.
Yeah, but even they get a bit of sympathy. That's the thing. Is like
even like, towards the end. Towards the end, they're just like, no one cares anymore. They're just like, oh yeah, those people. We had a good match, right?
No, they are overwhelmingly like portrayed as the assholes. But the thing is, like, even at the end of the day, like, they're not like shown as like the devil incarnate, like except during the match itself, where like you're supposed to feel that way. So it's like,
they also were trying to do. They like that aesthetic.
I feel like Hayama, like maybe my bias was just on his shit that day, and like he was just getting complete asshole. But I feel like Hayama is framed like the actual devil of the show.
No, the thing about Hayama is he's only disturbing his own tranquility is the thing. So if you take like Togashi Kuroko like to his fullest extent, right? Then Hayama, the reason Hayama is framed, because Togashi only frames a character as bad when they're disrupting their own tranquility. It's like when they're doing something that's only gonna fuck themselves up, that's when they get back. Because like the thing about it is like when you unite all the generation of miracles against you.
I'd say that applies to the guy who steals skills too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the exact same way. He's only injuring himself. He got like he was like, oh shit, I quit basketball. I only care about fucking bitches and making money. And it's like, from an Epicurus perspective, it's like, no, stop. He said, like, just play the basketball, stupid. But he didn't want to do it. He wanted to fuck bitches. And like, and insert the quote about nothing good coming from sex here. From Epicurus.
Man, that was hilarious when he literally stole Kisei's thought, and the Kisei's like, what? She was a thought.
Thank you.
Why would I care?
She was a thought. Why do I care?
Yo, I died. Oh my god.
Kisei actually said thank you.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
Like, I don't think he even liked her because she was just like stalking him or something.
No, he said she was just clinging to him, calling herself my girlfriend. So I appreciate you getting it off me. It's like she's literally just a thought.
Yep.
Oh man, that was a fun little switcheroo that they pulled. Like, I appreciate that. What other series have you seen that in? None. It's because it was Togashi's idea, his Epicurus idea.
We're just running with this theory. It's not stopping.
Theory. This is a fact.
Theory. Well, it's a theory.
There is no evidence.
There is no evidence.
Bam! Meme right there.
No, I think we're gonna put the meme at the beginning. I'm telling you, bro. It's like there.
No, just keep inserting it every time.
Yeah. There is no evidence, but they all. By the way, that scene where he opens the gate to the legends is one of my favorite scenes in anime. Period. There's a lot. Kuroko has a lot of my favorite scenes in anime, but that's one of them. It's like where he just opens the gate and then falls straight on his ass. It's just like, oh.
It's also, so epic. I also really like that scene because like there's also another scene like that in Zumo. And I'm just like, he recognizes how good it is.
If your series is gonna be good, you need an epic narrator scene, or else you're just trash.
It's honestly all my favorites have epic narrators. So.
Yeah, like I'm really glad I've abandoned like writing fiction for the time being and working towards a channel because like now that my taste completely changed, I'm just like, okay, yeah, like I can't have stupid characters anymore. It's like Togashi doesn't have stupid characters. I can't have just like bad characters anymore. Just like they all need to be like prudent geniuses, or else like I'm just gonna get pissed off with them and probably like slaughter them and mercilessly kill them. Like now, like okay, now I also need a narrator. I'm just like. Like I got. Right now, I'm in the cocoon. I need to evolve my writing before I go back to it.
In a story, if you're not a genius, your character's only meant to be killed as fodder.
I know.
You guys are just running with this in complete direction.
This is why George R. Martin has accepted his position as Togashi at his worst.
Oh my god! You guys are just gonna run with things that I've only suggested. Some of these things I haven't even implied.
You keep pointing out just straight facts, and we're just
how many times do we have to go through this, Mr. Idealist? You are the hermit, but right now you're just literally pulling weapons out of the void and just tossing them into. We're just
hermit. You know that hermit scarf that the hermits are always wearing, that cloak that they're wearing. It's just like a black hole that I just keep pulling with RPGs out of it. It's just here you go. And then I'm surprised when you use it. Oh my god, that's a huge explosive. Why would you do this? It's I just wanted tranquility.
In Kuroko, we were watching that the one game with Akashi, the last one, and you're just wait, Akashi can get people into the zone? How does he do that? And I'm just you don't realize the power you possess.
You don't.
Well, when you put it that way, it makes me seem really stupid, doesn't it?
He was legit just wait, I need to...
No, to be fair to them, yes, I was, confused, because, we probably gotta get into, the triggers to the zones first, before we explain this. But,
first, I feel like we should, go over what the 9 personalities are, and then we can, they have that context.
Did we go over the Enigma thing in the Madaka Box podcast?
I mean, we did, but who's actually going to go back and watch that just to hear this one?
This is a good point, and plus, we're going to keep using this anyway, so we might as well get.
We should probably just do it. We should probably just do a video on the Enigmas. It's on the Enigma test.
It's called an anagram, not an enigma is a puzzle.
Listen, are you saying that humans aren't a puzzle that needs to be destroyed?
Okay. Oh shit! Damn. See again, aligning with the Enigma, whenever Calliope tries to criticize Puck outside of one specific moment, it just backfires.
No, it's just in the anime. Yo, listen. Real quick. You guys gotta understand, we found characters in Kuroko who are just us, and it's annoying as shit. Because they have all our weaknesses too. And it's just and we don't have their strengths because we're weak.
It's not what I wanted. Let me put it that way. It's not what... I don't appreciate this, but it's a fact.
We don't like being exposed based on that's our weakness.
So,
this is why we expose ourselves all the time.
So with the 9 personality test, right? Basically, what it argues, it's basically a pseudoscience thing. We've gone over this before, but we're going to do it again. It's basically sort of a pseudoscience, general summarization. There's basically just 9 types of people, and it's you don't have to believe it. It's but again, insert there is no evidence quote here, but every time, even thinking,
it's
even
better for just compartmentalizing things.
It kind of might limit your thinking to there's just 9 types of personalities. But the more we think about it, the more right it becomes, and the more we have other people take the test, the more they feel exposed. And so I'm just I guess it's true. So basically,
Calliope said, it's just yeah, like Calliope said. What did you say, Calliope?
It helps you compartmentalize personalities and stuff like that. And
right,
it's really flexible, so it fits everything. I don't think there's any exceptions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and the fact is, if you have one personality, there's a flow to it, so you can change personalities basically, or you have closer similarities with other ones. In that sense,
the thing about the enneagram is that you can be your base level can be, you have a base level and then you have a stress and a growth level, whereas when you're growing into more of the ideal of this type, and when you're being stressed negatively, you're going to the negative version of of another type. So
not to mention, there's also the wings, which are the ones just right next to it, which you're also similar to.
Yeah, so it covers a pretty wide spectrum. Right, but so I got the 9.
Yeah, again, you don't have to take this super seriously, but it's just when it comes to stories, it's really good.
Yeah, when it comes to stories and the sort of rationalized human beings, it's just you just fit your characters into one of these, and you'll understand how to write them a lot better. Unironically, that's my writer's tip of the day.
Because it has the basic fears and the basic desire too, and that's the core of any character.
And
so
when you look at good characters, they fit this. So if you want to write a good character, just you can write a consistent one with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, alright, so the first personality type that we have is the reformer. They're rational, idealistic types. They're principled, purposeful, self-controlled, and they're perfectionistic. And that would be, obviously, it's literally in his name, Mr. Idealist. He's our type. He's our type 1.
Fun fact: that was completely by accident. There was a guy named Mr. Cynical. I called myself Mr. Idealist because it was perfect, and then I discovered this, and it became even more perfect. So, which only fits my type even more, and it's just like a spiral, a perfection of perfection. So.
Again, it's just one of those things where like we didn't plan for this.
It's like but, there was no evidence, but we all felt it.
But like the Great Flow clearly had this in mind, and it just made its way perfectly from the world of forms into our world.
By the way, we're totally making the "there's no evidence" thing a meme. This is an official Shonen Ronin meme. The same with Abandon Humanity. This is a meme now. We now have 2 memes in our arsenal.
Okay. So, the second personality type is we have the helper. They're caring, interpersonal.
Do we want to cover the Kuroko characters that line with at the same time? Or
right.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I was going to say, like, the number 2, the helper, is relevant because, they're demonstrative, generous, people-pleasing, and possessive. And what we should do, we should go over the types first and then go over the characters that fit into the types. I feel that's best. Okay, so I'll just run through the types. Okay. So third, we have achievers. They're success-orientated, pragmatic, adaptive, excelling, driven, and image conscious. They're also very annoying. They're also very annoying, but...
I have a brother who's an achiever, and it's pretty difficult. But yeah, it's all right.
The thing is, I feel like achievers would be not irritating if we just didn't live in capitalism.
Also, I'll just post an advertisement here. We're looking for a helper, so if you happen to be one, and
if you knew one or you know one, it's like if any helper is in an abusive relationship that you know, let us know.
Yeah, they have to be a minus.
Send them to us.
We're not looking for any plus helpers. We're looking for minus helpers because we're all misanthropes. So,
because the issue with plus helpers is that they're gonna try to pull us out of the misanthropy and like make us feel empathy and just like no, stop, get out.
That's not what we're looking for.
It's like, I know this doesn't make sense to you. I know this won't. But it's like if you find a misanthrope who is also a helper, which we don't even know if those exist, but if it's possible. If you find it for us, send one our way. Thanks.
Oh my god. So,
this is an official PSA from the Shonen Ronin.
So then we have
number 4.
Then we have the
number
4. The individualist, the sensitive, withdrawn type, expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, and temperamental. And this is the type Calliope belongs to.
hey, wait, guys, you think
you gotta understand?
I was just thinking, like, the kids next door. Their numbers align with this enneagram.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Yo!
God damn it.
My mind is blown.
God damn it.
What?
God damn it. God damn it, Calliope. God damn
it. What? Yo! Oh my god.
Four was with the Australian kid. God damn it.
Yo!
What did you do, Calliope? Damn it.
I just broke this.
I'm so upset. I am upset. What the The worst part is I always like number 1 the best too. Oh my god. No. And I like number 5 too. No!
And my number 5 was always my favorite too. And number 1 was my favorite. God damn it!
This was not planned. I did not plan to do this.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Again,
why?
like okay. Listen, guys. I know.
Time to happen.
Listen, guys. I know that I constantly rag on like Plato's idea of the forms, but if there's any proof that it actually exists, it's this list. Serious. It just works every single time.
See, the thing with the forms is like it doesn't apply to everything, but
I don't get all my ideas on podcasts.
I don't know. You always do this. It's because of your four
It's like
personality
the only way I
type.
know how to understand myself is actually communicating. Wow. Unbelievable.
Wow. Individuals, I swear.
Is that within your type? We should look that up later. Oh my god.
Yeah, read his individual thing. God damn it. It's just damn.
Hang on. Where should I wait, what am I looking
Oh no, wait, we're gonna go
on
over
number 4. We're on the individualist right now, right when I came up with that.
Oh,
yeah.
Coincidence? I think
not. There is no evidence, but we all feel.
Okay, so are we moving on to number 5 right now? Or should we expand on the 4 really quickly?
We're gonna go over the basic desires and fears later, right? When we talk about getting into the zone.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so next we have number 5, the investigator. They're intense, cerebral, perceptive, innovative, secretive, and isolated. And this is the type I happen to belong to.
See, me and him are best friends.
Yeah. Like when we start going over this, so like you'll see like the 1s and 5s are basically like destined matches, as long as they're not like on the opposite sides of the political spectrum.
Yeah. Basically, they can either be the best friends or the worst enemies. There is literally no in between. It's not possible.
If I was a conservative, right, like on the right side of the spectrum, like we would be at each other's throats on the daily, every single day.
Oh my god!
It just would not work.
It would have been like block immediately. It's just like no.
Oh shit. Okay, but next six I feel is the most common type. The most common type that we see, like particularly in today, because I saw some studies saying that the today's generation like are generally the most like loyal to like people and their friends. So number 6 was the loyalist.
There is no evidence.
I'm pretty sure they reference a few studies, but yeah, there's basically no evidence, but it's but the loyalist, committed, security orientated, engaging, responsible, anxious, and suspicious. And I feel like a lot of
I have an important question.
Yeah.
So, the thing about these personality types is like the question of the day is, do these come from like your development, or is like because like your personality is like a mix between like genetics and environment, but it's like I feel like these personality types come mostly from environment. I feel. And that might explain why there's so many loyalists, because this is the millennial like generation, the generation after the millennial generation. So it's like, well, it would make sense why we have these
something I cover in the actually post I'm working on is that like if you actually ask where like personalities come from, or like in like a nature versus nurture debate, it's always a 50-50 split. So
yeah.
But I feel like over time like your nature is just gonna like win out, because like you're allowed, like you have your base tendencies, but you can eventually grow beyond those. So yeah, I'd say it's mostly based around.
There is no evidence, but
okay.
The way high school is like structured and social media on the rise, it makes sense why there would be a lot of loyalists.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Material
That's the theory anyway. The post-Marxist theory. Thanks for watching.
You bastard. Oh my god. Okay, so we're going to move right along to 7. 7 is the enthusiast, the busy, fun-loving type, spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scattered. Everyone has problems with this archetype, and they're generally kind of annoying.
What the fuck? You can't just say that. You're projecting so hard.
I mean, yeah, I am, but I'm just still saying it anyway. I did the same thing with the individual, with the achiever, and no one's legit about that. But yeah, they're annoying.
No. The only reason I didn't say anything with the achiever is because, like, at least when you say the word achiever, you get a positive attribute automatically. So it's like any negative attribute that comes later is just balancing it out.
Listen, again, like the only reason we perceive achiever as an inherently positive thing is just because capitalism. So you can't even give it that. Like, come on,
that's not fair.
Who said that life was fair?
That's not
material conditions.
That's not even 100% true. Okay, Cherry. There was the Roman Empire. Okay, the Roman Empire.
But that's back when people were cool. Like, we don't have cool human beings anymore. We just have fucking degenerates and
Okay,
stupid
that's
people.
not necessarily true. There was a couple cool people, and they all got killed.
Like, the only cool people alive today that I can think of are, like, obviously, Togashi, obviously, but we can't call him, exactly a person because he's a god. And, like,
shout out to all the people who are working to get into space. Like, y'all the real niggas out here. Wait, can I say that on the podcast? Yeah, I'll say it. Y'all the real niggas out here.
I can't say it. But
you can't say it, but that's...
It's okay, Kobe. We will grant you permission on a case-by-case basis to use it.
that permission is not allowed online.
No, not online. No, only in real life. I'm sorry, Cherry. He's right.
But yes, what was I saying? There's no cool people, but besides like Andrew WK.
That. No, what was I saying? Fuck, forget it. I was gonna say something stupid, but I won't.
Okay. Okay, so next is the challengers. Powerful, dominating types, self-confident, decisive, willful, and confrontational.
So basically, the best girls now.
basically, the best girls, probably, and occasionally probably projecting their insecurities.
Oh, no, not really. I prefer the helpers myself, but I'm a reformer, so
I prefer the challengers.
We like the secretary types. We reformers here, so.
And the last one on the list is the peacemaker. Easygoing, self-effacing, receptive, assuring, agreeable, and complacent.
Cherry, I swear to God, Cherry, I swear to God, do not say what I know you're gonna say. I
was gonna say, shout out to Outlaw for being a peacemaker and a nice person. Jeez.
You better be saying that.
That's literally what I'm gonna say. Like, I didn't actually think about saying the other thing until you brought it up, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm
just more questions.
Listen, I swear on Togashi, that's how it worked out. This is,
All right. Okay. Let's let it.
By the way, guys, whenever we swear on Togashi, like, that's the only time we're allowed to do it, because we all take it seriously, so, like, we know.
Yeah. If you swear on Togashi and you don't mean it, you're losing a limb, alright? That's just how it's gonna be.
It's true.
If you live at all.
It's true.
Alright, real quick. I promise you, this is gonna be the quickest thing ever, because we're not gonna debate this. Almine is but the strongest generation of miracle player. This is a fact. The story doesn't work if he's not the strongest. If you disagree, you're an idiot. Alright? There. I'm done.
I still can't believe people actually argue this. I'm just like, on a one-on-one. Like, come on, level these guys. On a one-on-one, Akashi will put up a good fight. But he's not going to win. That's it.
Notice I did not say teams. Don't try to strawman me and say, like, oh, he said Toei could beat Rakusan. No, that's not what I said. Almine is the strongest individual character in Kuroko. This is a fact of the narrative. You cannot debate this.
Because, like, if Akashi was legitimately stronger, then why is Aomine so bored? He'd just go bug Akashi literally all the time. He'd change schools so he'd play with Akashi, or make it so that he could fight Akashi. It just doesn't work.
Like, I have to assume that you would think this argument only comes from people who hate Kuroko and think it doesn't make sense, but it's like, no, this comes from people who are huge fans of Kuroko, but they just like Kisei or Akashi better, and it's just like, no, stop. Now, could Kisei become stronger than Amine? We will never know, because objectively speaking, the manga's not continuing, so we can't test that out. It's like, so anything you come up with is literally just your fan fiction. But like, even with all the story that we got, even this last game considered with his perfect copy plus zone, Kisei still is not stronger, because he only lasts less than 2 minutes in that state. It does not work. Well, not less than 2 minutes. I think it's like exactly 2 minutes. I don't remember.
Not to mention, Aomine's style was the closest to the people who were just like whooping their ass almost at the start.
Yes, thank you. So yes, I will not accept any freaking in the comments, like, Cherry, if you see this in the comments, you see people debate, shut it down. I don't care. Call me a dictator, call me whatever. Just shut it down. No, we're not having this debate. It's not happening.
The entire point of having a king is just to squash rebellions anyway. So,
Oh, damn. You're not like, the Roman emperor's job was to mitigate class war. No. Alright, you're right.
But
yeah, just shut it down. Because I know it's gonna come. Any Kuroko video is there, so just shut it down.
You have to understand, audience. He's very serious about this. I'm
dead serious. I'm dead serious.
So yeah,
this is the one debate that I will not accept.
And we had to take a break because Calliope's headset died. So yeah, when we after our break,
when we last left off last time on Shonen Ronin. We should start all our podcasts like that. Just say last time.
I'm down with it. At least then we'll have something consistent to do.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that.
Okay, so yeah, last time on Shonen Ronin, we went over the 9 personality traits. Calliope blew our minds again. That's just his job at this point.
Yeah, his job is just to blow our minds in podcast specifically.
And so now we're gonna go through all the major important characters, all the characters you actually care about more or less, and sort of fit them into the enneagrams, and that way we can sort of cover the enneagrams and also talk about their zone triggers and basic fears and desires at the same time. So first off, before we talk
about zone triggers, we first have to describe what the zone is.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got to review that in case they're unaware and what we mean by triggers. So in case you don't remember anything about the zone or missing something, the zone is a state of being where it's like your 100% can be used, and it's like Kuroko just pulls something out of his ass when they're first introduced. It's like, oh, most people are normally only work at like 80%. It's like, what? Where'd that number come from? But like usually, like using Kuroko logic, the peak is like 80% without the zone, and the zone is like 100%. All right. So that's just like, just accept it, just pull it out of your ass. It's just a thing. And the zone is like a real thing called flow that people can achieve. So it does have like a real life correlation, right? So like the zone exists, a bit exaggerated in Kuroko, like it exaggerates everything. But just like with animal instincts, it exists in real life. It's pretty damn cool. The lightning comes out of the eyes. Yes, your lightning comes out of your eyes in real life. That's not exaggerated. I commissioned a beautiful piece, beautiful, absolutely wonderful, by Midaran. I think that's how you pronounce the name of the artist.
You did this.
Yes, I did this. I did that.
Who else would have done this?
I did this. No one else would have done it. This is why I exist. I exist to step up where no one else will feel the void. I feel that void.
You knew what was lacking. Yes. I saw that picture and I'm like, can I find more of this? And I could not.
Yes, you cannot. You cannot. That's why I told you it needs to exist. I told the artist, I was like, yo, listen, this needs to exist right now. I was like, no, I didn't say it like that. But it's like,
excuse me, I'm just going to appreciate the image right now. Like, damn.
Before we show that image, though, you have to guess. What is the perfect thing that is missing in Kuroko, fan art-wise?
Think about it. Think very hard, audience.
I'll give you the biggest hit ever. It's not Kuroko in the zone. Though that is close. That's the second one. We're really just going to sit here and wait for them to respond.
They need to actually think about this. All right. Now we can post the answer.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's amazing.
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes.
I said specifically. You just need to get the eyes right, please. I said, please get the eyes right. That's all I need. And like they went above and beyond, bro. It's just like,
he's a good man. When I have power, aka money, I'll patron him.
Yes, you must. We must double our chances of getting more of these.
I never knew money could create this.
It can't. That's the problem. Capitalism did not create this. I created this. Communism did not create this. Capitalism did not create this. Socialism did not create this. I did this. Me. Alright, I'm done.
Though,
Oh, okay.
we should credit this artist, actually.
Yeah. Technically, they created it.
But, like, it wouldn't happen without you, so you know.
So, I'm hyping myself up, but yes, they created. And if you don't know them, check them out. They do amazing work. I also commissioned an overhaul and a Shinbo. Name. I said Shimbo. No. I also commissioned Sensui from them too. So like all the best characters, obviously, I did. I had to commission for them. So like I support this guy because this guy does some of the best work, period. As like this is every single work he makes is a masterpiece. Please Patreon. Forget about Patreon us. Patreon this man so we can get more of this. Like I don't even care. Like if I starve but we get 1,000 more Momo picks like this, I'll be fine. Like this will be my sustenance, okay?
And only request more of these, okay? So that's
only more. Like, if you could do one of Rico for me, please and thank you. That'd be great. Well,
No. What needs to happen? Oh my god, can you imagine Rico in this? No. What needs to happen is like you need to request more of these, but like to make sure like it doesn't get upset. Just request like variations of it. So like request one where she's in the zone, but like she's also queen of like some country or whatever. Just make it like that. Just make it ridiculous. Just like ask her to put on the browset crown or whatever. Just like make variations of it. So you know
what we actually need to do. What we need to do, right? We need to commission like you know that one fan art image of like Rico the tactician and Kuroko. That we need that. Both of them in the zone. We need that.
I'll be real with you, Chief. I ain't gonna commission that, but listen, I would feel bad because if I feel bad because like I would just keep asking them for the same thing if I could. But it's like
listen, like I don't need all of this. Like I just need those two specifically.
You just need those two.
Those two specifically. If you want to put them in the same frame, that's fine. If you want to put them all up each other in some Yuri shit, that's fine too.
You can't be doing this, bro. You can't be doing this. There are powers in this world you cannot awaken.
It's like female Todoroki. It's just one of those things that's literally just too powerful for reality.
Yes. This is true. By the way, this is an inside joke, guys. But like, our joke is that a female Todoroki literally should not exist. Not because it wouldn't be good, but because it would like destroy everything. It's just like forget about Browsell. Female Todoroki would destroy the entire.
It's true. Completely true. Todoroki is a man because like he could not be a woman. He would break the world.
You think we're joking, but I'm
again, if there's any proof of like Plato's theory of forms, it's female Todoroki.
It's true.
But yes, I guess we should now move on to the characters and their personality types. Okay, so we're gonna start with Kuroko Tetsuya, obviously, the main character, and Kuroko is
my son, my boy. The funny thing is, I loved him before this, and I just love him before. He's my son. Yeah. The light novel, the mystery light novel reading, one trickster archetype magician, my boy, Cyclone Pass, never went in the zone but still competes somehow. My boy, Kuroko Tetsuya. Okay, go.
I keep forgetting that Kuroko is like reads mystery novels because he's an investigator, and mystery novels are also some of my favorite. So, I'm more into cyberpunk, but that's inherently sort of noir and like mystery based anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
Okay, so I guess so basically, I kind of find it funny because like Kuroko would just be me if I wasn't awful. Like it's funny because like he's almost the exact same height as me. He's like 5'6", and I think I'm like 5'6", 5'7".
He's a short boy.
Mm-hmm.
I really just gotta play basketball with you guys so we could just pull out all the Kuroko no basket moves.
Okay.
I swear, I attempted so many. Fun fact: Kuroko got me into basketball, and I attempted so many goddamn formless shots. It was ridiculous. Those negatively affected my ability to shoot completely. Like I was already bad. Like I was already terrible at basketball, and it only got worse.
So I have a problem with you guys. What if because some of the characters they overlap and we got the whole the whole plus and minus thing kind of going on. So should we mention like other people in the same type if they're sort of like, you know, kind of like shadow versions of them?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so the other character who is entirely much more like me is Makoto Hanamiya, aka the complete asshole, and also his position is like, okay, in case you just didn't know,
it's funny because they're both investigators and they hate each other, so it's like that hatred of your own kind of strong.
They're also both not very tall, because like he's like 5'10", which isn't like, no, fantastic. Sorry, I lost my place to go. But he's point guard, and fun fact, after I watched Kuroko for the first time, I joined my college basketball team, and I also played point guard. I wasn't very good because I didn't play for very long, but like I also played point guard. and my thing back when I played like you know, little league basketball was also in fact stealing.
Nice. This fits too well.
It's fits too well.
See, so what you need to do is we need you to develop the phantom shot.
That would be pretty cool.
We just need you to learn your misdirection, you know. It's like, you can do it. It just takes some training, but you can do it. Read some magician novels, that's it.
So yeah.
See, the problem is we will later understand is I also have misdirection.
No.
Late. The height of individual power doesn't amount to much. That's why he has this direction. Okay. So,
know what the best part is? It's still weaker than his, so it just works on every single level. No offense, Club, but still.
Well, I have a better part.
That's true. You have better specs, but like, he's better at his job.
I meant that was the shadow version.
Yeah, that's true. But like that's the thing. It fits too well too because he has you have the better specs than him, like on any individual basis. But he specializes better.
Okay, so I guess we'll just move on to me then. Okay, so if you haven't caught where I'm going there, is I am I'm like Mayuzumi. He's on Team Rakuzan.
The white-haired one.
I completely wiped him out of my memory the first time I watched Kuroko until I saw it again.
You get it? It fits
completely too well.
Yeah. So
basically, he's Akashi used him, and he's like, "Oh, you're the perfect person to create another Kuroko version 2 with better specs."
It's funny because we actually used it.
Fun fact. I was thinking this, like, when we were starting the channel, I was like, okay, I have two options. I can either get Cherry to do this, or I could get Calliope to do this. Calliope has the higher specs, but my instincts is telling me to go with Cherry, and now I know why.
I think higher specs would be better for this like role of misdirection, but then it's not.
It's not
because it inherently sort of draws people to you. I love. Oh my god, it's great. It's hilarious.
I feel so bad to you. Like it's just like
So while Kuroko's over there reading mystery novels, I'm over here just reading some light novels.
Yeah,
it's funny because you actually play a lot of visual novels too. So it's basically
I know. Oh my god, he reads Mr. Cynical.
They don't know that meme yet. But yeah, also
they don't know that meme. We need to make a podcast about visual novels and why Doki Doki is the best one, objectively speaking.
But yeah, also in that same vein is that because we've basically the grayed out guy, the one who's on the one Akashi used is an individualist, but also individualist is one of the generation of miracles, and that is Murasaki Bara.
So basically, think of it like Murasaki Bara is Calliope if he had power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Murasaki. So Calliope plus power equals Murasaki Bara. Without power equals the other one. Me with power equals Kuroko. Without power, I just become a degenerate, and ironically, technically gain more power. And I become
no. What happens is like, you're worse at team play without power, which makes perfect sense. It's like you're more individually strong without obviously you're more individually strong with power, but it's like the more individual are you, more power you get individually, but you end up being weak because everyone hates you, so no one helps you.
The sad part is you will notice that the individualist is the thing you don't want to be.
Yes.
Like, consistently.
We will get into this, but the reformer Akashi's weakness is individualism.
we can entirely apologize to Kogi, but like, I'm sorry, guys, you don't want to be an individualist. It's like you don't want to date an individualist.
It's fine. You can grow past it. It's possible.
You just gotta be constantly be evolving. You gotta be on your Isaiah.
You have to be self-aware.
Yeah, you have
That's
to be.
The first
literally,
step.
just gotta be Isaiah. You just gotta be constantly evolving. Just like never stop. Otherwise, it's either evolution or stagnation or degeneration. It's like there's no in between. There's no stagnation for the individuals.
Okay. Next, I guess we're gonna go to. I guess we'll cover you, Mr. Idealist, first. I don't think there's any other reformers besides Akashi. So I don't think there's any other type ones in the show besides you. Let me check.
Hold on, we wrote a list down of the characters, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you wrote a list down. I don't think there's any other. I don't think there's other type ones in the series besides you.
Yeah. Yes. It's just Akashi. You mean?
Okay.
Yeah, we tried to think of some other ones, but reformers very like they're both in real life and in like the show. There's like the vast minority. So it's the vast minority. Fuck you. Yeah. What are words?
they're the rarest types, beside next to twos, because twos just don't exist under capitalism anymore.
Like twos don't exist.
Like there's no help.
They only exist in anime. Twos only exist in anime. No. What happens is twos exist in the Eastern culture only.
Yeah.
Like, Western culture killed all this twos.
Yeah, that's like you have to download the Eastern DLC and like get a Japanese.
It's like you wonder, why are all these waifus so perfect?
It's like that.
Because they all got exterminated.
Speaking of type 2s, moving right along, Kagami, you might actually confuse Kagami with sort of a type 8, or like Aomine,
a challenger.
But he really is a type 2.
Yeah, he's one of the 2 type 2s in the series. The other one being my girl, my wonderful, my first wife ever, Momoe Satsuki. She's great.
By the way, in case you're wondering, like, he does seem like a type 2. Type 2s, when they are stressed, do in fact go to type 8s.
So yeah, it just works.
Also, when they're growing, they grow into type 4s. So they become better Kolopis.
So like, Kagami is the best individualist you can be. who himself needs the help of a 5 in order to like truly succeed. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. Damn, I feel really bad for shitting on Kalopi. It's just like, to be fair,
listen, all the types have their bad parts to them.
No, it's fine. I also get to shit on you when you become me.
It's true. Because at that point you're just a gimpy Kalopi, and that's just pathetic.
Like when you're a weaker
and don't worry,
Kalopi.
I can also grow into you. That's how I grow. I grow into a reformer.
It's true. Wait, what do ones grow into? I forget.
Ones? Good question.
Yeah.
Let me look that up right now before I move on to the next one. I don't actually remember that one.
Yeah, because I feel like
ones grow into 7s.
Which one's the 7s?
They grow into enthusiasts.
Oh, right, because you're enthusiastic.
They start to like things.
Yeah, I know. Literally, oh my god! It's literally, bro. Every time we talk about Hunter, I just become an enthusiast. I'm like, I can't. I literally name myself the Dick Riding Association. Oh well, okay. This all makes sense now. All right, got you.
And on that note, let's move on to the enthusiasts. And the enthusiasts in this series.
See, if you can't tell, this is why we like this thing so much. Is it just like exposes everything?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Everyone equally. Escape.
It's a ride every time you look at it. So yeah, enthusiasts.
It really is a ride.
That involves Kisei Ryota, the enthusiast of the group. Do we have any? Are there any enthusiasts? We have enthusiasts. We have Kisei Mibuchi, which is the very like girly looking shooter from Rakuzan, one of the Uncrowned Kings, and
Rika.
And Rico.
Can't forget about Rico, the unofficial Uncrowned King. When you're uncounting unofficially, wow, that's like two layers of unofficial.
That's like the third place prize, but still, it's a prize.
We love Rico, by the way.
We love
This
Rico.
is not shitting.
Like I actually like Rico more than Momoa. It's just a taste thing.
Yeah, that's completely a tasting. I'm not even mad because like I like Rico a lot too, so she's great.
Yeah.
It's like we both respect each other's taste when it comes to Kuroko waifus because there's so few of them. I bet you there'd be more girls, and Togashi had a bigger role in it. But he can only help so much. He can only carry the series so much.
There was that one coach. I forget what team they were on.
They were on your team.
They were cute.
Yeah.
No, they didn't talk.
Oh, you're talking about the other one?
The one with the black hair and I think like the katana.
No. That is it. She was the coach of your team. I wish I could find out what her personality is, but we don't have enough evidence. We just know
coach of
Murasaki
Bara's team.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember her because she's hot. But
she didn't say anything though.
No, she said a few things, but the thing is, like, she's just stern. Like that's the only personality hint we can glean from her. Like she's just stern,
basically.
And she has the umbrella, and she was part of the women's championship team. So there was that. So like she's respectable, clearly, but it's just like we don't know anything else, unfortunately.
You know who I forgot to mention was also an investigator, Mr. Steal Your Thought, the guy who steals skills.
No, I think we always forget Alex because that's none of our favorite girl.
Wow.
But,
you know the funny thing about Alex is that like literally she fits all the Generation of Miracles taste, but like none of us care about her like at all.
But I'm just not into blonde girls, so I'm sorry.
Like, the thing is, I don't hate Alex. It's just that
she's good. She's just like well.
She's just the American. You know what the problem is? It's like I'm too much of a weeaboo. It's just like I don't care about Americans. It's like I can't.
I would bring up the joke. I would bring up the joke I made in Discord like two days ago.
No, you will not. You will not. No. You will not.
I need to learn.
You absolutely will not be doing that. We're not about to die. Like people can sue us for telling all humanity to die, but like there's a limit even for us. It's like we'll get away with saying that, but we won't get away with saying that. No, but it's funny because it's actually I believe that she has the biggest breast out of all the characters, but I still prefer Momoe. So it's just like, To be fair, her breasts aren't that much bigger than Momoe's, but still.
Yeah.
And she is older, so
yeah. So when Momoe grows up, it's gonna be.
Okay,
I don't want to think about that because it's going to get me distracted.
Okay, so we covered the 5s, the 2s, the 1s, the 7s, the 4s, and I guess, I think the last one we have on here is
we need the achievers, and we didn't find any peacemakers, unfortunately.
Do we have any achievers on this list? Oh, yeah, there we go. So, as far as achievers go, there are, the muscle head. Just the muscle head. And his name is Eikichi Nebuya.
And the fun thing about the thing is we love this dude so much because he's literally just like the most simple kid. The problem is we had a hard time fitting him into anything because he's just that simple. It's just like he's so simple. He's just about the muscles.
Yeah, he's literally every Dragon Ball Z fan ever that doesn't understand show. It's like you try to teach them the lesson, but like, what, you mean gain muscle mass? Like, no.
Like Kiyoshi was like, yo, your muscle is a strong strength. I really like it. If you add some skills to that, you will be perfect. He gave him literally the perfect advice, and he took that and he said, so what you're saying is, I gotta gain even more muscle to prove to you the superiority of muscles. Like, yo, I die every time, bro. Every time.
Perfect joke.
This guy is just the best. I love him so much.
Oh my god.
Then we can move on to Tepe, who happens to fall under the Loyalist, the Type 6.
Ah, yes, Tepe. Also under the Type 6, that happens to be Midorima. Mido? Is that his name? Mido?
Shintaro. His name is Shintaro.
Yeah, Midorima.
we're on a first name basis with the Generation of Miracles, right?
It's really hard for us to actually say Midoriya because
we just keep confusing it with Midoriya.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no.
Japanese names are hard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's true.
But yeah,
fun fact: Japanese curses all sound the same, so that's why Penny and Stocky is better dubbed.
Shut up! Don't bring this up. The dub is garbage.
This is what we call the ankle breaker.
The sub of Penny Stocking is really good, and it's because its American voices just don't sound cute. Stocking is amazing in this sub.
It's not supposed to sound
adorable.
cute.
It's not supposed to sound cute, Cologne.
Okay, the dub of Panty and Stocking just completely changed the script. It's like
I know, it's great.
Just with sweat.
It's like Yu Yu Hakusho all over.
Perfection.
It's great.
Like, if you're gonna watch a dub, just watch any other American cartoon. There's no reason to watch anime.
Exactly. There is a reason, because anime is better. Anime does American cartoons better than American cartoons. It's just a fact. I hate to break it to you.
It's an anime! It's not an American cartoon!
I'm sorry to break this to you, Philip. I really... It's funny because...
So the sub has no... Like, there's not going to be comedy from the swearing, but there's just as much sexy, like, jokes. And that's what I really care about. I want that to be as sexy as possible. I don't care about the swearing. Come on.
See,
that's lame.
The problem is he's too thirsty, and he can't enjoy good comedy. Because of the thirst. Fun fact.
Not wrong.
I know. Right? Us ones can completely read the flow is the thing. It's just so we just know how the others work.
See, again, what you guys gotta understand about this again fits in the anagrams because the type 1s just basically know everything, and the type 4s are just completely self-indulgent. So it's all playing out in front of our eyes right now.
So, to explain really quickly, because we're going to come back to this later and go more in depth, but to explain just, really quickly, is, the ones, we're good at planning, but we're terrible at instincts. So, it's, we can develop, it's, the best of the best we can develop good instincts, but it's, we have to, sort of analyze instincts, and then we can, incorporate it in a weird way. I know it's not making any sense to you, but it's just, think of, how Kagami just has animal instincts naturally, where he just needs to train it and it comes out. For Akashi to get it, he would like to have study up on animal instincts, do research on it, and then he could develop it. Again, because I'm the investigator, right? So I understand. So basically, me and his dynamic is he understands concept and ideas, but I understand people, and so everything he's saying, I know. It's yep. So basically, what he's saying, he really needs to analyze it and almost put it into practice mentally before he can see. I have to put it back into its form, in the sense to use Play-Doh. So it's everything to form is I have to put it into a form. I have to take the material and put it into a form, and then I can understand it and break it down.
I on the other hand don't have to do that because I have actual woman's intuition. So I completely once
we don't know about this joke. All right, so alright, the choke talk on the animal instincts is not out yet, right?
Well, it is technically out on the website, which we can link in the description.
But yeah, so the thing about woman's intuition, right, is what it is to break it down in the simplest possible terms, whereas animal instincts are predicting physical movements, woman's intuition is just predicting people. So it's and the reason he has women intuition, Cherry, tell him why you have women's intuition.
Okay, so obviously, I am black, and therefore that means my parents.
What? Back the fuck up. No.
I love doing this.
No.
But obviously, systemic oppression, all that. My parents were always busy, so they never actually raised me, and instead were too busy arguing and working all the time. So I actually had to learn how people worked completely on my own. And so I basically spent
like just like imagine a baby like trying to figure out, okay, how do I whine in the right way to get food from these people? All right, whining's not gonna work. All right, so what I gotta do is like I gotta get their attention some other way. So it's like that basically what happened.
Yep, and basically it works out because in high school, like I was watching one of Kato's videos, right? I think it was the one on like Dungeons and Dragons, and he says like people develop like they develop like comedy as sort of a defense mechanism to like hide things they're uncomfortable with. Well, I became the complete class clown in high school because I didn't understand people and they made me uncomfortable, so I just made them laugh and they constantly and they basically they accepted me, and I use what annoyed them and what they liked to just completely study them, and that's how I got animal instincts.
You mean woman's intuition?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's under the same banner, honestly. It's just a people version. So yeah. So basically, anytime Mark comes to some realization, like again, like referencing earlier in the podcast, where he said he didn't realize he could get people into the zone. I'm just like, how did you not realize this?
I was really shocked, honestly, because like we're gonna have to get into like the triggers into like the zone, right? Because that's what this whole section is about, right? Yeah. But I didn't realize is that when they pointed out that like like I'm a 1, and so therefore I have the most in common with Togashi. I'm like, so you mean I could get people into the zone? And they were like slamming me, like I should have known this like clearly. And it's like, and then when Akashi started explaining it, he was like, wait, I gotta listen to this. And I was like, I could tell you this right now, but it's best you learn it yourself. And then he realized, oh wait, it's just delegating, and just like, yep, it's just delegating. You put things in their proper place. Congratulations.
We don't want to assign the work ourselves, so someone has to do it.
No, you see, the thing is, I would understand this if I known what made me a 1, but I have no idea what made me a 1. Like, no idea.
I think I could probably answer that. It's probably your love of history, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
Because again, reformers usually arrive when like things are broken and they need fixing, and so like if you're constantly like a history nerd, you're constantly watching things get fucked and then having some cool guy come along and fix them. So it makes perfect sense.
See, great man theory of history. That might be why I defend it so much, because it's like, well, is it wrong though? And they'd be like, yes, but like, wait, you're ignoring this. And it's like, And like, yes, great man theory can't be taken literally as in history it's just great man, but it's like, it has its value. It has its value. Because the thing is, like, I like characters, I keep calling them characters, historical figures, but it's like, history is a story. So like, I like characters like Napoleon, Hannibal, fucking Otto von Bismarck, stuff like that. I think I've been over this before on the podcast once. I was like, I like those people. Julius Caesar, it's my favorite historical figure. But that one I don't always count because, like, that could just be because my name's Mark Anthony. So, like, literally, I was named after his right-man man. So, like, the bias's extreme in that case. But it's just like, I just like people who, like, come in and just, like, take the fuck over. And it's just like, we're changing this shit right now. And it's just like, yes, thank you.
You should definitely read Michael Parenti's A People's History.
Yeah. I read some transcripts from the book. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I like it, and I saw the book review of it, so it's good. It's good. I like it.
So yeah. Also, in fun fact, as an investigator, we don't we generally think way too much about things. That's the defining trait of us. So, and we spend too much time. So we don't understand the individualists at all. So
I don't either.
It's like, I know. Does anybody understand the individualist? That's the real question.
So like Calliope doesn't understand himself. I don't get him either. But all I know is that he does Calliope
I think
things.
Only the Peacemaker understands everybody because they have to.
Yeah,
because it's in their personality type. Mm-hmm. So they at least have like a base level of what everyone is.
Maybe them and the helpers. That's about it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so should we start?
That probably explains why when I watch Outlaw videos, I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
to be fair, I'm like that too. It's like we just have a lot of common. We just have a lot in common with Outlaw. Period. So it's like, again, I'm not exactly 100% sure because like Cherry has like a clear delineation of like, and to be fair, I helped him find it because I'm good at finding the flow. But the thing about being able to find the flow is that you can't see your own flow because it's kind of like having Emperor Eye. It's like you cannot see like your own body doing Emperor Eye. So it's like, well,
because you're the one who has to act.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what happened now? How did I get this weight? Fucking if I know. Fuck if I know. So it's like I don't have that clear backstory of how I got this way like Cherry does.
Side note, if you don't want to be an individualist, don't watch anime or play video games when you're surrounded by people who are just normies, okay?
Nah, if you wanna not be an individualist, don't watch Eva.
Right, so why are you stealing my jokes?
Don't read light novels. Don't read light novels. That's step one.
Yeah, don't read
visual novels are known to.
Watch Ava.
Don't be a weeb, basically. You can like Shonen, that's it.
Yeah, it's bad for you, honestly. Actually, all anime is bad for you.
Or don't be unique. Don't be unique.
No, the thing is, you'll want to be unique. Don't be unique. Just be like everyone else.
Just conform.
Just join a group. It's like avoid the church because they'll try to make you unique and say you have a special relationship with God.
That was the real problem here.
Oh no.
Religion.
Oh no, it's Colopi. We can't be doing this.
I mean, we could all get into a religion.
We'll have a separate religion podcast eventually. Today is not that.
I'm fine with that. We should probably move on to the triggers.
It should be Borgism, Togashi versus religion.
It's like logic versus super. All right, let me stop because now we're gonna get in trouble. So just cut that out.
We can get in trouble when specifically our time to get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we're gonna, because like it's gonna happen anyway. This is gonna come out. You can't keep the madness in. Yeah. So I want to be prepared
on some Soul shit.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Like, you can't suppress it. Just gotta ease it out.
Yep. But yeah, we should probably talk about the triggers for everyone entering the zone and how it ties into like their basic fears and desires and all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be a good.
Wait, did we go over all the types already?
Yes, we did. We didn't touch. There's no peacemakers really in the series besides like Shintaro.
Are you sure Momoi isn't a peacemaker?
No, we're sure because she wouldn't get along with Almine.
Yeah.
With who?
Almine. She's literally one of Almine's.
She tried to.
No, I'm not saying she always succeeds, but she tries. Like, if she was a peacemaker, they would not get along at all. It's like, never. They wouldn't even talk to each other. Yeah. Like, she would want to avoid Almine if she was a peacemaker.
Yeah. The only
the thing is, would peacemakers even be in sports? That's the question.
Yeah. Resisting the urge to make the joke.
I think you have a point.
Yeah,
resisting the urge to make the joke. Resisting the urge.
But I know she's not a peacemaker for sure, only because like she definitely would not be friends with Almine. Because like Almine's number one challenge to peace when he's upset, at least. It's like that's just not happening. I'm not saying that Almine like completely like destroys any semblance of peace, but it's just like no. Peacemakers just no with Almine. It does not happen.
But yeah, there's no real peacemakers in Kuroko besides Kiyoshi and Shintaro, and that's only because that when they're growing, they actually grow into peacemakers. And Shintaro gets like much nicer when he's like doing well.
Yeah,
so
I was shocked when we found out. I was like, huh. So that explains why he becomes so nice sometimes. It's like, because every other time he's a real dickhead. Like, the characters even point this out. It's like, huh. So that explains it.
Okay, so I think we'll start with the ones, obviously just for numerical starting, and we'll start with that. So the one, and we're talking about.
Oh, can I do this? Can I do this one?
Okay. Do you have the page open, or do you need me to read it off?
Your trigger is insane.
My trigger. Okay, so let's go over the triggers to the zone first, right? Because you gotta understand that if you're going to understand what we're going on about. Alright, so with the zone, right? We explain what the zone is. The zone is flow, right? And the flow is like your maximum best effort, right? So but the thing about, as Kuroko pointed out, is like each person has a different thing that gets them into the zone, that gets them to use their 100%. And what gets them to use their 100%, again, as Almini pointed out in Kuroko, is that you need to, like, understand, like, what makes you try your hardest, you know? What can you throw yourself into what can you throw your entire being into? It's like, for all the characters in Kuroko, it's basketball, but it's like, how exactly they throw their entire selves into basketball determines how they get into the zone, right? So, what we realize is that the basic desires and basic fears of each of their character types is what's going to determine how each character gets into the zone. Even if it's like, gets into the zone through someone like Akashi, you know, like Wi-Fi zone, right? So like, even in that case, this still applies. So, what gets them into the zone, is basically what's going to be them reaching for their basic desire and then moving away from their basic fear. Because fear will take you out of the zone, because fear causes the idle thoughts, as Almini puts it. So if you have ideal thoughts, you can't be in the zone. So you want to get away from overthinking, you want to get away from the fear, and you want to move towards, like, working towards what you desire most.
Do you see how we said this is really good for writing? Because it sort of just maps out how characters work.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I find this really fascinating character-wise. Because this applies to, like, basically any well-written character. So
it also has like ways of telling like who is what and what you're specifically confusing it with, or like how each type gets along, which is really, really good.
Yeah, character interactions, all that. It's very fascinating. Yeah. Very good stuff.
So I'm just going to be using this a lot from now on.
Yeah. So with the Enigma of One, it has one with the 9 wing. One with the enneagram with one. The one with the 9 wing is the idealist, and the one with the 2 wing is the advocate. Now, Akashi is an idealist like me, so it's like he's closer to the peacemaker. He's closer to the peacemaker than he is to the helper, which makes sense, right? If you just think about Akashi, though, that just makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not really an advocate. He tells you what to do. So
it's actually kind of interesting because, as we know, like Akashi has split personalities, and his split personality with the yellow eye is the idealist. But when he goes through his characterization arc, he actually shifts over to the advocate, and that's how he unlocks his other ability.
Right. So he becomes the perfect ideal one, so to speak. But yeah. So the basic fear of the one is of being corrupt / evil, defective, and the basic fear of the one is that, and the basic desire of the one is to be good, to have integrity, and to be balanced. So as we explain, like what the trigger is, the trigger would be getting away from feeling evil, corrupted, or defective. Like whatever stops you from feeling that way will help you get more into the zone. And whatever helps you feel like more like you're good and have integrity and are balanced, that will get you more into the zone. Now, what's interesting about the ones, right? And this is hilarious, low key, but like, what's interesting about the ones is like, you think, oh, okay, so how does one go about not feeling like defective, right? Well, if you consider the idealist, right? If you consider what's in the name, right? And if you consider the psychological phenomenon where it's like people always feel like they're a little bit better than average, you know, they feel like a little bit better than other people in some way, right?
Is that called the Dunning-Kruger effect?
Something like that. Something along those lines. But how that works out is like you combine that fact, and if you combine that fact that people usually think they're better, with the fact that with the basic fear of not wanting to be corrupt and evil, right? How exactly would one eliminate the fear of being defective if they feel like they're better than everyone else and like everyone else is like not being ideal? I'll give you a second just to think about it, right? But so if you're a smart cookie, what you realize is that, hey, if I want to get things done right, I gotta do it myself.
Well, actually, there's two ways about it, right?
Yeah. There's two. Well, I'm gonna get to that too, but like we're talking about for like individually, because like the ones that are special in that they could get other people in the zone, but we're talking about how one specifically themselves get in the zone, right? Alright, so ignoring like how you get other people into the zone for a second, if an individual one wants to get into the zone, if they want to give their 100% to something, they have to give up on everyone else. Because it doesn't work otherwise. Because, like, as long as you depend on other people, you will feel like you're being corruptive and defective. It's like, this is just what the one is. It's like, the ones are perfectionists. They're idealists. They don't want to be... They want things to be perfect. And there will almost never be a case where... Like, in very rare cases where you'll find another... where one can work with another person and feel like they're not corrupt or defective in some way. That just does not happen. It goes against their type. So, if they want to give it their all and not feel corrupted or defective in any way, then necessarily speaking, logically speaking, you have to abandon everyone and do whatever it needs to be done yourself. And when you say it like that, it sounds really evil. Because it is. In a lot of ways. Because it is. Because, like, what Togashi did, how he got into the zone, like, he realized that, oh, I just have to... Literally, you gotta insert the quote here at some point, Kalopi. Literally, it's just that what he says...
It's a meme I constantly use, so, like, it'll be easy. I'll have it for you.
It's funny, because he's not the one. He's not the one here, but, like, it applies more to me than it does to him, but he loves to use it.
The thing about it is, like, I'm not a one, but, like, because of your influence, I'm just slowly morphing into something in between a 1 and a 5, and I don't know why.
He's
like, damn.
Like, basically, more or less, he can see, like, where I'm coming from perfectly speaking. So it's like... So, like, the exact quote, I forget how the exact quote... Oh, no, wait, I remember it. I have it here, right here. It's that... How exactly it goes. It's just give it a second to load up here. Just like... damn it. It didn't load because it didn't cut off. I can't believe this.
Wait, are you looking for the meme that I constantly use?
Yeah, I had it.
Hang on, I can find it.
No, I already found it. It's just like, why did I lose it? Like, right when I was making a speech. Like, right when I was on the road. See, this is why you gotta not depend on people, because it corrupts you.
Do you need me to read it out right now?
Yeah, sure, read it out.
Okay,
I was gonna post it in the chat, but...
Okay, so basically what Akashi said, when he was talking to, when he basically went to Mibuchi Nebuya and God, what's his other name? What's the other kid's name?
So to go back to the context real quick, he saw how Almine forced himself into the zone by knowing his trigger, right? So that's how that worked. And he was thinking, can I do that? So, like, again, this is going back to, like, how ones work, where it's like, we don't do things on instinct. We gotta, like, study it and analyze it. And then once we can see the flow of something, we can do it ourselves. So this is him testing out how do I go in the zone? How do I force it? And it's like, he's realizing, I need a trigger. So what would my trigger be? So he decides to face against all the uncrowned kings at once by himself in order to discover what his trigger be, because he already has an inkling of what it is.
3 out of 5, because those are the ones on his team, but yeah.
Yeah, so all 3 of the uncrowned kings face him at once, and he beats them. And when he said, and he beats them by going into the zone, and his revelation is this words, and cherry quotes, if you would.
In other words, it will be when I have decided to fight alone with my own power, when you have disappointed me, and I abandon you all.
I abandoned you all. So yes, that is the one's individual trigger for going in the zone. It's abandoning everybody. It's just like, friends, comrades, those don't matter. You just abandon them all and just do it yourself. That's how the one gets into the zone. And that also explains why I don't go into the zone often, because Shonen, it values friendship. And I value friendship. But it's just like, so there are rarely times where I abandon everyone just to do it. But in exchange...
And you mostly do this one out of fear that you might lose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing about it. It's like, with the ones, it's like, the zone is always a backup plan. It's never like the go-to thing where like, it could be for like someone like Amine or Kagami, like you can just open the match with it. Like, ones cannot do that unless like when the match starts, they're like already feel back into a corner. It's like, okay, I have to do it. So like, for ones, it's very hard for them individually to get in the zone because like you have to abandon everyone and just like you absolutely cannot depend on anyone or anything for that matter. So it's like it's very difficult. But in exchange for this weakness and being able to go in the zone themselves, they have the ability to gain other people into the zone, which is better explained by you guys because again, I did not realize this until like last minute. So,
Basically, what Mark did not realize is that like again, you also consider that Mark is the hermit, and so he's constantly like sort of like looking at the flow and realizing things and like how things are going to work in the future. So his the way he gets abilities and the way by proxy Akashi gets people in it, he just delegates things. So like Akashi like people always say like zone Wi-Fi, and like that's not an accurate description. It's a perfectly timed pass. So like just when the defense is like perfectly like dropped down, right? Akashi like tosses the ball.
The thing is, we call it zone Wi-Fi because like we have a misconception that he is in the zone and he's giving his zone to other people, but that's not actually what's happening.
No,
but zone Wi-Fi is just a cool name, though.
Yeah, so basically, like he gives the exact perfect pass at the exact perfect time, so that the person can make their shot and like they feel good about themselves. And again, because it's their base, it's a sort of adhering to their basic like desire and everything. Like that's how he gets other people into the zone.
If his other way to get in the zone was like avoiding evil by being evil, this is avoiding evil by being good.
No, what happened was
balance.
What happened was that not exactly it. So what happened was like if going into the zone yourself is you have to be uncorrupt, unevil. Like you will not be defective by associating yourself with other people. So this is actually you becoming evil. You're sacrificing yourself so that you can like better improve the world, which is more along the reformers' natural state. Which is why they're capable of doing this. So it's like they improve everyone else at the expense of themselves, and that's why when they're stressed they become more. And that's why when they're that's why they become more of an individualist when they're at their best, rather than become more of an individualist when they're stressed. My bad. That's why they become more individualists when they're stressed, because like when they focus only on themselves and abandon everyone, they can go in the zone, but it's like obviously that's not going to work out long term for you. Yeah. It's like whereas when they're growing, they become the enthusiasts that can give everyone else the zone by making everything else go perfectly. So basically, they're the team carrier, more or less.
Mm-hmm. So that was a good explanation of the ones. Now we're going to move on to the twos. And so again, the twos are the helpers, and we have Kagami and Momoi in here. And so the basic feel.
Can we insert Momo in the zone again? That'd be nice. Perfection. Beautiful.
The thing about this picture is I want to know, like, what is she doing?
No, we're not gonna. This is a PG-13 podcast. I lied. I like it. I'm sorry. I should not lie to y'all like that.
Kuroko's pants drop.
No. This is his pants already dropped, and like she's there. No, okay, we're done. It's funny because like that's not entirely inaccurate in terms of how Momo might can this. We're terrible people.
Alright, so basic fear of the twos, as you might be able to imagine, basic fear is being unwanted, unworthy of being loved, and their basic desire is to feel loved. So
this is why she fell in love with Kuroko when he gave her the popsicle. By the way, in case that wasn't making sense to you, it still doesn't make sense. It will never make sense. Again, but it's like it at least makes more sense.
It makes sense it sort of makes sense like Kuroko would be the one to give her, because investigators are always watching everybody, and so it makes perfect sense
that Kuroko would give it to her, but
it's not going to make sense
like question.
Okay, we have to ask some question. Is Kuroko asexual?
No, we're not going there. No. The author's just a dummy. That's it. It's not that deep, man.
Okay.
I believe there was like a comment where they went on a date, but technically he thought it was like a date as friends, but he did call her beautiful, so it's like he can appreciate aesthetics at the very least. Like he knows where it's at. The question is like why he didn't do it, and the answer to that question is because the author.
It's also funny because like I also acknowledge Momoi as beautiful, but like I prefer Riko, which is true in real life too.
Oh no! Yo, you better not, bro. You better not. That better not be the reason. I refuse.
Wow.
I refuse to accept that.
You cannot be doing this.
No. Are you telling me if there was another enthusiast? No. It's a good thing it stops. I will not accept this. No. Absolutely not. Now, that's giving the author too much credit, though. That's just assuming he didn't do romance because...
No.
Because Togashi could... Because Togashi's not the one writing it.
It's okay. It's okay. He's not very good, so we can take away his credit as need be.
Yeah, exactly. It works. Just like anything that doesn't fit is his fault.
But yeah, so like we said before, that covers one way. But Kagami, like, it's easy to confuse Kagami with like a Type 8 because he's always constantly stressed, especially when you first join the team, and so he's so constantly challenging.
Yeah, this all makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. So, but like Kagami always fought hard. Like he's actually pretty perceptive of his friends, which is an interesting trait that kind of flies by your head if you like only with the first or second rewatch. But
yeah, sure.
But yeah, so like he always fights for his
friend,
and he gets into the deep zone by fighting for his friends, who's Kuroko at the gate.
And also, not really relevant in terms of, but he also knows how to cook, and he cooks for the whole team. So it's like, it could have been someone else, but it was him. So it's like there's little hints here and there that into his true baseline personality. It's just that he's always the aggressive. Yeah. It's easy to forget when. Like again, it's easy to like miss because he's always stressed because he just wants to be the top guy.
When we do get that application for the helper, we have to make sure we have to make sure that
we need someone who can cook.
We also need to remember to appreciate them.
We just need to import wives from Japan. That's it. It just works.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh yeah, would he be more on the 1 wing or the 3 wing?
Let's see. The two. No, he'd be closer to the 3, the Achiever, because the two with a 1 is a servant.
Yeah.
And a 2 with a 3 is like a host.
Yeah, I think the 2 with the 1 is more along Momo's line. Would that be? You think that would be correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, just making sure.
Okay. Moving right along.
Also, fun fact, Momo and Kagami actually get along pretty well in the small amount of interactions they have, so...
Yeah, it's true.
So, just further evidence to this. Fun times.
So, the Achiever. Again, the Type 3, the Achiever.
The only one is Mibuchi.
The Mibuchi, so we don't have a whole lot to go on here. But, basic fear being worthless, basic fear to feel valuable and worthless, and again that works well with Akashi, but Akashi also made them put the fear of God in them not to lose, but also made them feel good to win. So hey, it fits. Why not?
Yeah. So the interesting thing about the Wi-Fi zone, which you're still gonna call it even though it's inaccurate, is that the way he got them each into the zone also made sense with their personality. Like it seems like it was just passing. It's like the passing unlocked like the zone, but that's not entirely accurate. It's like what happened is that he also delegated properly, like when it was supposed to be. So he always passed it to him when he was sure that he could get it in, and that in turn made him more confident in his passes, which means that when he got the ball, he was definitely going to make it in. So he was really sure that so that in turn reinforced his achiever personality, and he just felt like, oh yeah, I'm totally worth this. I'm totally got this. My muscles are in fact worth everything in the entire basketball realm. So it's like, yeah.
If you combine a 3 with a 4, you get a professional. But ironically enough, he does seem like more like a 3 and 2, which is the charmer, because we find him very charming just because he's so simple.
Well, and he does help out a lot. The team too is like when he tries. It's like he was even the one who got like the dunk on Kagami, so it's like he didn't have to do that. But it's like
it makes sense. Like their way of helping is just being the most charming person on the field with their big muscles.
Yeah, it's true. He is the one who makes everyone laugh. It makes
you feel safe.
Yeah. Unironically, too. It just
we got the Dragon Ball Z guy over here. Everything's right.
Like, I would feel safe if I had a Dragon Ball Z guy as a friend.
It's true. Okay. Now, we move right along to the Colloquies type, the individualist. And
unfortunately, we never saw individuals in the zone because the authors.
Well, we did see like Murasaki Bara in the zone for a flash of a second, like half a second.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about that shit.
So their basic fear is predictably that they have no identity or personal significance. Or
this freaked me out when I first figured this out because like in the beginning I thought Murasaki Bara was just a kid. And like he is just a kid, but that's the thing. It's just like he's literally just a kid who wants attention. I'm like, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. So basically, what if he did like the reason he constantly says, like I hate basketball, it's boring, everything, but he constantly stays because he it's a place
and
where he belongs
and
he's
dumb hard
because he wants people to acknowledge it. So he is literally a kid. And it fits perfectly well.
Like the trigger in his match is like, oh, this is an opportunity to like find myself, and my significance. Like this is a match I can actually put my skills towards.
Yeah, and if you think about why he said he hated basketball in the first place, it's not because the sport is unfair. Like that's what he says, but the real reason is because he's so good at the sport, he can't find an identity because he's just the big dude that's good at basketball because he's tall. Whereas like his skills, his actual like skills that he's honed and practices,
keep a note
go completely unacknowledged. Yes. Yes, this is the sad part. So like individuals have a hard time getting in the zone too, like ones, but the difference is that when they do get in the zone, their zone is way more powerful. It's like ridiculously strong. Yeah. It's like literally no one can stop them when they are in the zone. So it's like, oh, okay.
It's the height of what's the name for self-determination?
It's
or whatever.
It's the peak of individual power, unironically.
Yep.
It is the peak of individual strength. It's great.
Yep. And again, so the other individual is the minus one. The fake Kuroko. It also makes sense because when they're
it's more accurate to call him bootleg Kuroko.
Bootleg Kuroko. Yeah.
I prefer bootleg Kuroko.
Yeah, bootleg Kuroko. Because when they're stressed, they go into twos, which are helpers, and which again he's technically helping out on the team when Nakashi's just using him, but they also grow into individualists. So Akashi sort of gives him that, and then they just perfectly.
You mean individualists grow into reformers, right?
Yeah, reformers. I'm sorry. So yeah. That also kind of supports like the like how mostly how they met and how they left off too, because like
and it also relates to like how Murasaki Bara and Akashi's a relationship too. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Why they have a special bond. Yeah. Damn, Togashi, I love you. You're so great. Thank you for this wonderful thing.
I'm glad you wrote Kuroko to Togashi.
It was you all along, Togashi.
I'm telling you, bro, we're making that name. Okay.
So it was you, Togashi.
Okay, you guys
all you see is Kuroko, level E, Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho all running down the court with the basketball. And they're attacking like Haikyuu and like other bad sports series. Like
no, stop! You got because then we're gonna have to actually make all of this.
No, I really
the amount of things we need to fund.
It really does. It's true.
Oh, okay.
This is why you need to Patreon us so we can Patreon other people
to make us dank memes for our videos.
Unironically too. This is like, do you want the video quality to improve? You want me to get a better mic? You gotta give them some plus.
Like this Momoi in the Zone fan art that was commissioned. This is
again. Put it there again.
If we had enough power.
It's true. Put it up there, bro. Rule 3. It's just like
bam, right there. Beautiful.
It's like, how do you not want this? Like, the reason more of this does not exist is because you're not giving us just $1 on Patreon. Less than a candy bar, bro.
Or sharing our video with people so they could give us $1.
Yes.
It's true. Yes. It's true. Like we care more than views. We care about like people who will actually just watch consistently. So it's like, word of mouth is the most powerful thing. So just like give us a nice little shout out to someone who's in the shonen. Help him educate himself because most people are ignorant.
I just put the word of our channel ourselves, but again, like I don't play well with people when I don't have power. So
it's true. Like, forgive our obtrusive personalities for the content. You know, there's a lot of content creators that are terrible people, but you still support the content, right? You know, it's the same thing here. It's just like, help us reform society properly.
Pull away from that mother's basement and that MatPat and give to us.
I don't know. Right? Does MatPat have a Patreon? Dear God,
I don't know. Does he?
Imagine.
I feel like he would make enough money from YouTube to not need. Maybe he does. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he does because he already has a job, and he would probably feel bad for taking money from kids. So that's not me. That's not me insulting MatPat. That's actually complimenting him because like he would not want to take money from kids who we all know would be the majority of people giving him money, even if he thinks like his audience is more than just kids. That would be the demographic giving him money.
How can you morally have a Patreon if your target audience is children?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so the investigators. Just a reminder, the investigators of the series are Kuroko, that one guy who steals skills, who we can't even remember, honestly. Like, he's just in the background. And we have Makoto Hanamiya. None of these guys ever went into the zone. But basically the investigators, as you might assume, they're very cerebral, like they're always studying ideas and all that kind of stuff. Independent, inventive, and their basic fear is being useless, helpless, or incapable, and their basic desire is to be capable / competent. If you were to mix them with individuals, you get an iconoclast, and like iconoclast characters, like you're pretty familiar with them. They're characters like Joker, Kuroko. I mean, not Kuroko. Joker, Kumagawa.
Essentially,
like nope.
Imagine.
And like so, those are characters like they attack people's beliefs because that's just what they do. They're assholes, basically.
Yeah, the assholes were accurate.
Yeah,
like you can replace iconoclast with asshole, and you'll be good.
Yeah, ironically, like I can't deny.
No, you thought I was being ironic.
And if you mix them with a Type 6 loyalist, they become problem solvers.
Wow, it's actually named Problem Solvers. Oof.
Yeah, the Problem Solver.
Just disrespected your whole set, bro. Just like, damn. Like, get wrecked. You're not a Kuroko. You're a freaking Hayama. Fuck out of here. Kuroko, he solves problems. He trains so much that three whole basketballs get completely used up in a matter of days. That's how hard he goes. You, man, you just want to troll people, stick out your ugly tongue. Come on, man.
But yeah, so basically what it is about investigators, they're all about understanding and investigating systems. So like, even though they haven't gone into the zone in this series, because again, the author's a bitch, and I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see Kuroko in the zone, but in sort of a sense, they don't really like. If there was a type that did not need to go into the zone, it would be them. Because if they understand the system, right, and like Kuroko being able to understand all of his teammates, and like in Akashi in a sense being able to like use his Emperor Eye to see all the possibilities of the basketball game, it's like that's just sort of a constant state of that, and they don't really need the zone for that.
They're just always quasi.
Yeah.
If I had a gun, I would have shot you right there. Like I would have traversed through the interwebs and shot you right there.
Like,
quasi.
Because I would have been right.
You see, the ones in the forest, like the forest cannot be allowed to be right. It hurts the ones too much. It's sad. It's bad. So yeah, anything else to mention about the? Oh, we should probably mention like the interaction between like the ones and the ones and fives, I guess. So again, the ones keep their ideals, and like they're all very like intelligent and everything. So the reason like ones and fives like have this sort of connection is that because a five is always seeking to understand his system, whereas a one just does.
So spoilers for Root Double, so just don't remember any of this if you're planning on playing the visual novel. But the ones and fives They're both terrorists.
To be fair, it was written by Mr. Cynical, so.
And the one is the reason the 5 became one.
Oh, ironically. It works perfectly.
The one is the recruiter.
It works perfectly. In real life, too. Don't attack
I'm gonna need
us
to
on the
say,
set,
if you're
thank
listening, this is a joke. This is just a comparison to
See,
not fictional characters.
See, by the way, what happened was we had realized that when we were going over the types, we realized which type this game was written by, in fact. And we realized that we hate that type.
Don't ruin it for our audience, please.
No, I'm going to. It just has to be good.
And I will say otherwise.
And we realized that
I do not endorse this opinion.
and we realized that all visual novels are just written by the same type of person. So we don't want to read them anymore. Because they all suck. Because the type sucks. Except for Doki Doki. Doki Doki is the only visual novel.
I have to wonder if this is just like the way visual novels are designed, or if it's actually the person who made them. Like, I'll argue it's just the way you have to format a visual novel. Or like Doki Doki is the exception because it followed its own.
No, the thing about Doki Doki is like it literally deconstructs this visual novel, so it deconstructed this personality type. So it just works.
Oof.
And that's why it's the best one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let me explain this.
What
the person who wrote Redouble, you're gonna
you gotta tell them the
are
type.
like designed by achievers, right? The 3, or am I wrong? Or is this something else?
Yes, those are the 3.
So how a visual novel is structured is like you go down through this tree, and usually your general purpose is this classic like dating visual novel is you will go out for these girls on each route, and you're trying to like achieve that purpose. That's just the way visual novels have been. But Doki Doki deconstructs that. Very, very obviously by how
spoilers for Doki Doki.
Can you I don't know. Do you want to explain this? I'm not as big into Doki Doki as you.
Cherry, you explain, because I know who got you into it. You're more passionate about Monica, so.
What? Oh, yeah. I love Monica. Okay, so what am I explaining right now?
No, I'm gonna do it. I have abandoned you all. Listen. So what happened was, in Doki Doki, because it's a horror game, right? It decided to deconstruct the genre because the creator, Dan, I forget how you say his last name. He wanted to create. Yeah, he had his problems with the way anime is and how it's constructed and how like all the girls like fall into your lap or whatever, because he basically had a problem with the way achievers wrote like anime and visual novels. So he said, alright, I'm gonna deconstruct this. So he said, alright, this game's gonna have a bunch of girls, they're gonna be cute, they're gonna be awesome, but they're gonna have problems in their lives, usually mental problems or like external, or one of them has the external, or a few of them have the external factors affecting them. So, like, 2 of them have mental problems, one of them has a completely external factor, and one of them has an external factor and mental problems because of the external factor. Kind of. So, spoilers for Doki Doki, right? But you find out eventually that, Monica, one of the girls that you cannot date in the game, has actually been controlling the game, trying to get you to not date the other 2 girls who you can date, because she was not built a route in this game.
And I didn't even want to date any of the other girls in Monica. This is why I barely remember Doki Doki the trip, and I didn't pay too much attention, because I just wanted to date Monica, and the game wasn't letting me, so I'm just like, okay, I see where this is going.
So, yeah. So, they make Monica very appealing, or Monica makes herself very appealing, rather. So you want to date her. And, but the problem is that's not possible. So clearly you have a paradox where it's like, you might want to date her. She wants to date you, definitely. But it's just not possible. So this is butting heads. So that's basically like a breakdown of the achiever system where it's like, well, what happens when something is unachievable? Which, explanation point, despite his, fall from grace, he has a very good video on Doki Doki Literature where he explores the concept of free will in Doki Doki. That basically goes into this, where it's like, basically, if free will doesn't exist in these games, it's like, what is there to achieve is like, and it basically, if you watch this video, he gets much more in depth than that. But basically, because free will doesn't actually exist, there is a problem. There's a huge flaw in like achievers, even in like a conceptual level, at least in video games, right? Not talking about real life here. But like conceptually in video games, there's a problem with the achiever of a game being based around being an achiever solely, which are what visual novels are. So that's where the deconstruction comes from. At least how it relates to the Enigma thing. There's other elements of deconstruction in Doki Doki, but you can watch analysis videos for that.
We're probably good enough to make our own at this point.
You damn right I could.
But yeah.
And I just wanted to fuck Monica, so I didn't really pay too much attention.
Root Double's not bad because it's written by an achiever.
Yes,
That's
it
just
is.
the nature of visual novel. It's the
yes, it
material
is.
conditions.
They're all bad.
Okay, but if you were going to read a bad visual novel, Root Double is probably the best one.
Thanks, capitalism, ruining goddamn everything. Doki Doki is communistic. If you don't believe me,
I really doubt that these visual novels would follow like the same set of rules if the creators had like complete creative control. Like, oh wait, we could just do our own, do what we want. No, they have to do this.
No.
Actually play it and give them money and crowdfund it.
Wait, I retract what I said. Right. Most visual novels are trash. The ones that are trash are the ones that do not have ecchi scenes in them. If it has,
keep in mind these people don't read visual novels.
Hey! I have read exactly 2.5 visual.
Bullshit. Okay, now I gotta hear this now. I'm calling you. What were they?
They were all had the scenes
I
in
want
them.
names.
So, all right.
They all had the scenes in there.
Yeah. So
perfect. That's why you play visual novels, to achieve that.
So yes, they have scenes. So like obviously Doki Doki. Then there's there's one on my Steam. I don't remember the name. It's like a lingerie shop thing. I think it's exactly called. I think it starts at end like knee lingerie, something like that. I played that. I'll link.
What kind of game? Okay. The fuck kind of game?
Listen, why did I read it? Okay, you're asking the wrong question. It's not what game. It's like why, and that explains why. Okay.
Did I misinterpret what you meant by the scenes? Because Doki Doki does not have this.
No. Besides Doki Doki,
porn.
No. Besides Doki Doki, I've done 2 other ones. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
yes.
So back to
It's might be the only good visual novel because it doesn't feel like it's written by an achiever, but I guess it probably is. Never mind, I take that back.
He said, "No, I'm actually thinking about it now. That's not the case."
So basically, back to the individualist. Interesting thing about Kuroko is that investigators when they're growing, they grow into challengers, and then basically that's the plot. That's the plot of the show. Kuroko is growing, and he wants to challenge his friends. Boom, done. So yeah, moving right along.
So too long didn't watch. Cherry sucks. He's a horrible person. Do not listen to him.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm awful. I'm just the worst, aren't I? Moving on.
Hey, nah, you stinker.
When he's stressed, he just goes to enthusiast and just like devolves into degeneracy.
That makes so much sense.
Well, how are you this fucking late on everything? God damn it! This is why I have to have a whimsy tuition. You were useless.
Leave me alone.
Jesus Christ.
This is why you have no friends. This is why, because he has way more friends than me.
Again, I wear a good mask of friendship, yes.
I feel like reading this enneagram is more for Mr. Idealist's sake than...
Oh, no, it totally
is.
It's
true.
Again, Kalopi can distinguish this because he's had friends before. I have woman's intuition, so I know all this instinctually. You are just hopeless.
Hey. I'm not always reading it right in front of me, okay? You gotta cut me some slack.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, I don't read this either. I just understand it.
Listen, buddy. Not everyone was born in an abusive household. I mean, I was. That's besides the point.
Anyway, enough about black parenting. On to number 6, the Loyalists. So, who we have in Loyalists, again, were Kiyoshi and Shintaro, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
They did not go in the zone either. For the record.
oh dang it, boo! I was trying to remember. This was like, wait, did Shintaro go? I swear, Shintaro got so shafted in later in the series. He really did.
To be fair, his base level is OP. It's funny because he has the second strongest base level, I want to say.
Mm.
Well, actually, the thing about the power level in Kuroko is hard because, like, literally, if it's anyone else besides the Generation of Miracles, Midoriya is the strongest, clearly. But it's like,
yeah, like, if you're up against an inexperienced team, he will be the one to shut you out the hardest.
like
Sure.
he's literally like the pinnacle of like everyone else if the Generation of Miracles did not exist. But because they do, he is the weakest of all of them. So it's like, wait, wow. That's what I mean when I say his base level strength. It's like when I say base level strength, I mean not Generation of Miracles level strength. If you're talking about base level strength, he's strong, but he is a Generation of Miracles. So it's like,
It's actually funny in the interview, like his editor after he wrote Shintaro's ability, his editor got really pissed at him. Like, where the fuck are we supposed to go from here? And I started dying. It was great.
That was Togashi, wasn't it?
After his other editor, he had a different editor for that.
Oh,
that
right,
got mad at him.
right.
So like, I guess they go through like multiple editors or something. But
there's more than one
their
editor
basic
for each
fear is
manga.
being without support or guidance, and their basic desire is to have security/support. And I mean that's pretty obvious because like it's pretty obvious in Kiyoshi's character, like because he's worried about like not without having support, his teammates. But like
He literally lost his leg so that he could play with us.
Yeah.
So. that tells you where his character lies. So.
And again, like basically being without guidance fits Shintaro so well because he's constantly so obsessive about like his nails and reading the horoscopes and getting the lucky item of the day. So
It's funny because his horoscope is never wrong. That's the thing in the series.
I know.
No, but the funny thing about the horoscope is
than reality.
the thing about last game is that that's very interesting is that it was his luckiest day and he still did not go in the zone, whereas everyone else went in the zone. It's like fucking.
And so their basic desires is like to have security and support. Basically the opposite of his fear. And you know what? Like in last game, they explicitly say that they basically say that Akashi can't get everyone into the zone in this game, but they don't give an explicit reason. So there's no. I'm just like, he should have gone to the zone. This is wrong, literally wrong.
He didn't want to end the game that quickly.
like literally, and it wouldn't have even been like hard to give him like a zone ability. You just reduce his shot time.
He would have had to draw it out. If he did that, it wouldn't shorten the game. It would actually make it much longer. That's why he didn't do it.
Why did you say that?
Because he wanted to end the thing as fast as possible.
No,
maybe.
He should have made everyone go.
Judging by that ending panel,
it's possible. I know that is correct. But the thing is like, wouldn't have getting them in the zone worked at that. It really hurt me to hear someone call Matt that smart.
So yeah, moving right along. The sevens we have in this series involve Mibuchi, Kisei, and Riko. And so the seven basically they are the enthusiasts, and their basic fear is being deprived and in pain, and their basic desire is to be satisfied, content, and have their needs fulfilled. And how do you want to explain this one? Because
basically they need the ones to get them in the zone.
I mean, I'm trying to think how that sort of connects to Riko, because I guess in the beginning when the team was first being formed, she wasn't about it because she's like, man, you're all depriving me of good games because you're all pussies. So I guess that kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not exactly how she said it. Yeah, it's basically she's like, I don't want to join a team of people who don't try.
Yeah. And
but she went dumb hard when she did join the team because she wants them to win. And the moments where she has the hardest time governing the team is when they're struggling. So it's which you think would be bad for a coach, but that's why she's uncrowned king level and not Generation Miracles level. Which, by the way, we consider Momo Generation Miracles level and Rico on Crown King level, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, it gives up basically sums it up. Let's see, Mibuchi, I don't think we ever saw him, like, significantly stressed enough to note, to, like show his base sphere, but,
Wasn't he, like, freaking upset when
he did
this
have
guy...
his entire style destroyed.
Yeah, he was mad upset when, the guy used animal instincts to try to stop his shot, so that's, like, the closest we got to it. He was, like, pissed. He was like, what? I'm not having it. Yeah, salt was truly a way of life for him at that moment. He was just emitting salt. Like, that salt was just his aura at that moment. He was like, I'm not having it, bro.
If you like, I'm gonna say that both Mibuchi and Kisei are both the entertainers. That's what you get if you mix a 7 with a 6. But Rico is probably closer to closer to the realist, which is what happens when you mix a 7 with an 8. So.
I see. That does make sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, she does break their bones and everything, so it's fine.
It's like...
Oh yeah, and Kisei got in the zone too, so if you want to get in the zone, you just gotta...
Yeah, and Kisei getting into the zone was him, like, he needed to beat his idols, and that's what makes him happy, so it all works out. Yep. Now, the Challenger. Let's see. The Challengers include Aomine, and I don't think we mentioned his name the first time around, but Kotaro Hayama. That's the guy with the lightning dribble from Rakuzan.
Lightning juice.
That's the coolest ability, I swear. That's my favorite. Definitely.
It was definitely stolen from Hunter x Hunter. That one guy who just, like, winds up his arm.
Yeah, you need to stop.
Bruh. Okay.
So lightning dribble's great.
So the basic fear of the Challenger is being harmed or controlled by others, and their basic desire is to protect themselves and to be in control of their own life and destiny. So,
that's Almine's whole character arc.
Yeah, that's literally like you can't really apply Almine's basic fear because, like, he's just too good to be hurt. But
no, what happened was he wasn't in control of his life was the problem.
Yeah, the problem
is he was so good that he could not control his life.
Yeah. Keeping with the Epicurean theme, like, he didn't have his basic desire sated, and that's why his character's art was like that.
No, his character was like, the thing is, he depended on other people to be able to match him, to be able to feel fulfilled, but he can't control other people, so, like, that ended up messing with him a lot. And, you know, causing, like, virtually a mental breakdown where he was like, the only one who could beat me is me. So, that's the worst thing you can say as a challenger. It's like, the only one who can beat. Damn, sad life.
Yeah, that's really sad. Thanks for writing that, Togashi. It's really good. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
But as far as a Kotaro goes, his basic fear of being, like, harmed or controlled. I'm pretty sure. Didn't something like that happen during his game, where it's like he constantly kept getting outplayed, and, like, then he started making a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah, basically the thing is, he doesn't really listen to Akashi, but Akashi just lets his side because he produces results. But, like, when he starts failing, Akashi starts taking more control, and that gets him upset. So,
so basically, he got baited, and that made him salty.
Yeah, so if you want to be a challenger, if you want to beat a challenger, just bait them. And if you are a challenger yourself, do not get baited under any circumstances.
I'm glad I'm Hayama, because so I know how to bait. It's gonna be fun.
You are not Hayama.
Hush, child. I mean, sorry, not Hayama. Hanamiya. I keep getting too many H's. Fucking people. Fuck these guys. These God damn you. All right.
Look at him getting stressed and becoming an eventualist.
Man, you're just so fucking late on this. I swear to God. Okay. And again, the last type is the Peacemaker, and I guess we're just going to cover this out of obligation at this point, because like there's no peacemakers in the series, and like
we need you, the audience, to help us. We cannot.
Yes, this is our call to action.
Exist.
You know, like, subscribe, and find out what gets a peacemaker in the zone, because we have no idea.
Peacemakers have no power, and so like they just don't really do anything.
It's a sad reality because the peacemaker, they could have power. But people just, like, look at the Peacemaker and they're like, oh, we can just steal power from them, and it'll be ours.
And they won't do anything.
And they can't stop it. They don't stop it from happening.
Oh, man. Tragic. Truly
tragic. And as you might imagine, their basic fear is of loss and separation, and their basic desire is to have peace of mind. Who would have guessed? They're not very conducive to sports series, so...
Hey, Outlaw. Where's that Epicurus? No, let me stop. He's been having a hard time with that, as it is. But yes, if you are a peacemaker, I would definitely suggest reading Epicurus, because like he's right up your alley.
Let's wrap this up. So that's all the types. Now you may be able to understand both the anagrams and Kuroko a little better. I apologize, we got wild in this podcast, although not as wild as we could have been. So we're improving slowly.
Like, I don't know if you were expecting this in your Kuroko podcast, but I had to be on. I'm sorry.
We covered everything from Togashi wrote this series to the light novel. Fucking say fuck though. Oh man, this is gonna be a wild one to listen back to.
I'm gonna have fun listening to this.
Oh yeah. So, any closing thoughts?
I'm also glad we summarized the whole novel thing, because otherwise we would never summarize that up. It's too much effort to summarize it up in his own post. So it's like, yeah, this is fine.
Any final thoughts on you, Kalopi?
Kuroko is one of the best sports anime. I'm glad to rewatch it, because the first time I watched it, it was always like after work on second shift at like 11 o'clock when I'm extremely fatigued. Oof. And it was very entertaining, but like I don't remember most of it.
That's probably because like when you're tired, that's probably the worst time to actually get hype.
It truly was. I underestimated Kuroko.
Like the only way to get hype when you work that much is like drink beer.
I'm like, wow, this is a really fun sports show, but I'm not feeling anything, and that's probably because it was.
I can imagine.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Idealist? Any final concluding thoughts?
I still can't believe that I didn't realize that you become an enthusiast when stressed. Fun fact. He dated an enthusiast, which makes this even more hilarious, because it's like, what were you thinking? Like every single factor of this relationship is just wrong.
I'm both disappointed in me and
well,
I
did.
You because you're slow, and me because I was just wrong.
Hey, better slow than wrong. That's just how it is.
This is like if I could just gift you my part of my instinct, I'm just like, here, just take
this. Like how do you people when you're just like, oh my god.
Future note to self, but if you are to date someone, make sure they aren't an individualist, because it will be very gross, self-affirming love.
Unless
I don't want that at the current moment. I might fall into it on accident.
Like
if you're a normal if you're a normal person listening to this, like I don't know why, but if you're a normal person and you are an individualist, just date an individualist and then just don't leave your room. Just like have sex all day. You'll be fine.
So that's literally what he and his girlfriend did at the end. This is so great.
But then I don't get to be a reformer. Yeah.
But again, I clarified for the normies who are potentially still listening to this. I don't know why. But,
yeah, man. What normies would listen to this? I don't understand. It's like, how do you have like a normal conscience and like go through all this? It's like
Imagine being a complete normie, like only watching like basic anime, like you have all the wrong opinions shown, and just listening to our podcast. What must be going through your mind right now? I cannot even fathom it. Sheer disgust, I imagine.
At this point, you're questioning: am I even a normie?
I don't think you can.
You really? No, we're too far removed from that spectrum. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like, we're not 4chan weird, but we're like, we're like something beyond, yes. We gone even further beyond.
I guess you could say we're no longer human. And on that note, that's the end of the podcast, everybody.
Alright, we're gonna stop recording now. That's perfect.